What up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Reggae PodClash. My name is Roger Rivas, and that is Mr. Man Like Devin Morrison.
Hello, Roger, and hello, everybody. How is everyone today, and how are you today, Roger?
I'm doing good, man. I'm pretty excited today.
Me too.
We're going to get into some Hawaiian Reggae, and, we got Mr. Leslie Ludiazo, Mr. a.k.a. Bimwala from Jboog's band, and Mr. Zion Thompson from The Green. So these guys ain't no joke, man. When you talk about, Hawaiian Reggae, you definitely are mentioning Jboog and The Green, and, they got a lot of other stuff we're going to dive into.
The first tour the Expanders ever did was with The Green. And
really?
So those guys have always held a very special place for me. Beyond just loving their music was from that tour, which was, your first tour is always kind of special. And so
right.
It's always, one of my favorite tours we ever did.
Right.
And it was a West Coast tour too, West Coast tours of California, like California, Oregon, Washington, that loop, it's always my favorite tour anyway. And then to do it it was The Green, The Movement, The Expanders in 2013. Yeah, okay. It's great. Yeah.
I love those tours too. You know what you're getting into when you get on a West Coast reggae tour. What spots you're hitting and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, everybody watching, please hit the share button if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, share the link, hit the like button, hit the heart, and let's get some viewers. Let's have a little reggae party because today, as Roger mentioned, is a very special episode. But before we bring those guys on, we're going to do what we love to do, which is
Record of the Week.
Yes.
We are record collectors.
That's right.
And we like sharing what we collect. We're kind of, I never got into baseball card collecting. Did you, Devin?
Basketball cards for a while when I was in like 4th, 5th, 6th grade. So I've got early 90s. I've still got it actually like an album of early 90s.
Oh, really?
Like Upper Deck and like Skybox and those basketball cards. Yeah,
right.
I've got some good ones.
That you think are worth like millions of dollars and then you're going to check it out and it's really not. You're like,
I've got one that I paid. It's like a Magic Johnson college card that in 1994 I paid like $30 for.
Okay.
And I checked recently and it's worth about $25 now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, just hold on to it longer and your kids will check and they'll reach 40 someday, Who knows?
No, it's going out. It's trending the other direction. It'll be like 15.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good we didn't take collecting those kind of sports cards seriously, but I'm glad we took collecting reggae records seriously.
Yeah, because these records don't devalue.
They don't devalue.
And I think it's my turn to go first this week,
yes,
right?
Yes, sir.
Is that
what do we got? Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, this week, my record is a tune called Clean Head Dread by David Jason. Mm-hmm. So this, people will recognize this. If you listen to reggae, you'll recognize this rhythm because this is most popularly known as the Alibaba rhythm by John Holt. You hear it on all kinds of dub records, I'd say, even more than the vocal versions of this rhythm. Like most of the readily available, heavily promoted dub records will have this, like a dub by Scientist or King Tubby doing this rhythm. And so everyone listen to the lyrics. This is probably my favorite vocal version over the Alibaba rhythm because David Jason is talking about how he's a clean head dread and how people are spreading rumors that dreadlocks are dirty and that dreadlock people in Jamaica have dirty hair. And he's saying, no, that's not true. And he says, there's a rumor that you hear that when this guy died and there were all kinds of lice in his head and they call him 40 legs. Mm-hmm. Like centipedes and stuff. Wow. And they're like, no, and he's saying, no, it's not true. What happened was he died first and then the 40 legs started crawling in his head.
Don't get it twisted.
So see if you guys can recognize those lyrics. Okay, here we go. David Jason.
No 40 leg no in a eye head. I a dreadlocks dread, I a clean rasta dread. No 40 leg no in a eye head. So make a tell you something that people like. Come in a eye head. Yeah. Make a tell you something that even time you come in a eye head. Story where you hear say the guy get dead, but you never really wash him head. he never really wash it. So when the guy drop dead, fat leg crawl in a him. And when the guy drop dead, fat leg crawl in a him. I a dreadlock straight, I a clean rasta dread. I really have to wash my hair. I a dreadlock straight, I a clean rasta dread. I really have to wash my hair. So make I tell you something that people like come in a eye. Yeah, make I say another thing that people dance you come in a eye. The 40 leg no in a eye. I a dreadlock straight, I a clean rasta dread. The 40 leg no in a eye. So make I tell you something that people like come in a eye. Yeah, make I tell you another thing that people dance you come in a eye. Say the story where you hear say the guy get dead, but he never really wash it. Say the story where you hear say the guy get dead, but he never really wash him. So when the guy drop dead, 40 leg crawl in a him. And when the guy drop dead, 40 leg crawl in a him. Dreadlock, that's a dreadlock. Now I'm not dirty eight. Dreadlock, Rasta dreadlock, have a clean it. Dreadlock, no tell no lie, upon the naughty day. Dreadlock, clean it.
Yes, that's David Jason with Clean Head Dread. Man, so first of all, I meant to say this, I think, about my record last week too. Both last week's record and this one feature a flute, right?
Okay.
And and maybe this is just me stereotyping the flute, but like if you're thinking about like if you're like, okay, we need to make a really heavy like dread rhythm, what instruments do you need? I don't know if flute is necessarily like the first instrument that's going to come to my mind, you know?
Now it will.
And you know, every time in Jamaican music, especially in the 70s, when they use a flute, it's like, man, they got it right
Secret
every
weapon.
single time. So I assume it's Tommy McCook. I don't know why. Every time I hear a flute, I just assume it's Tommy McCook playing it. Maybe
I
it's
would
probably
too.
not, you know?
Right.
But it just, so the flute on there is amazing. And so, yeah, anybody who's like really dug, you know, not even that deep into Jamaican music, but who's,
Right.
you know, gone past the Bob Marleys and the Jimmy Cliffs has probably heard that rhythm, like I said. But that's my favorite cut over the Alibaba rhythm. And yeah, so you can hear those lyrics where he's saying, I a clean Rasta dread, no 40 leg, no in the eye head. 40
Right.
legs. So first of all, I think all of us should just start calling insects with more than 4 legs 40 legs.
40 legs, man.
Yeah, a 40 leg.
You don't need to count it. You just have trust. 40 legs.
Yeah, it just means a bunch of legs.
Right.
Right? You know, might as well be 40. If it's got more than 4, it might as well be 40.
Yeah.
So, and that one's like, you know, the last few weeks I've been saying I bring those records a lot and don't play them. That one I definitely play almost every time I DJ. That's
Yeah.
like, because it comes on and people think they know what song it's going to be. And then it's not. Those different lyrics come in.
Right.
But I have faith in that tune because I think that's the heaviest cut over that rhythm.
The last time we DJ'd, I had so much fun, even though it was a short set. I remember I put on, it was a version of the Alibaba rhythm, and it's called Live It Up. I'm trying to remember the group. Just look up Live It Up. Anyways, and then you came out of the gates, like, because we were going one for one,
Yeah.
record for record, and you came out of the gates with that one. I was like, yes,
Yeah,
that is awesome.
I've always got that one. And he's actually got, I suspect it was from the same session. David Jason has another cut over that same rhythm, same version of that rhythm.
Wow. Okay.
That I can't think of the name of that tune right now, but this is the
Right.
one. This is the one for me.
I like
man.
it. I like it. No, it's
Yeah.
heavy. Tells a story. Speaking of
does tell a
stories.
story.
Speaking of stories, you know what to tell a story you need words.
Fitro.
And this next song is titled Words by The Gatherers. This is out of Lee Perry's Black Ark studio, and you can definitely hear, it's a Lee Perry production. One thing I was noticing in listening, I've heard this song a million times, but as of recently, listening to it for the show, and this is a crazy theory, Devin, but check it out. A lot of the songs that we think are heavy and the groove is heavy, and it was really weird theory. It starts with the guitar. The guitar
I can buy into that.
In every look, a lot of Studio One stuff, Sound Dimension stuff. When you talk to collectors, when you talk to, people that have been listening to reggae for a while, and they start to develop a taste, and the common the common factor, I think, is the guitar and how just, I don't want to say loud, I don't want to say the mix. It's just, if your guitar's on point, if your guitar skank is on point, and in most cases it's like a double skank, jank, jank, jank. Trust me on this, because I was like, dude, I was thinking of all the tunes that I think are super heavy. You have Rupi Edwards has a bunch of tunes like this, where it's almost Studio One sounding. Like a good example is the organ cut Musically Red by Winston Wright, and that's an organ version of I think, is it the Drifter? I'm drawing a blank, but it's the same characteristics. So this song is right along with those, the guitar. Just listen to the guitar, everyone, and we'll talk about it more after.
The rhythm guitar, yeah, the skank guitar.
Yeah, the rhythm guitar. Check it out.
Okay, here we go.
Hit it. If Only by the Words Did you hear that guitar, everyone?
Yep.
Devin, did you hear
it
the
almost
guitar?
sounded like there were two rhythm guitars at points because I was really listening.
Oh.
It almost sounded like there was like two different tones happening.
Okay. I heard
Yeah, like
a piano being in.
mhm.
It was disguised in there, right? Because the guitar is overbearing, which I don't mind, but you hear the one single piano skank, I feel, and then
Mhm.
obviously the double skank on the guitar, which is freaking king, man. That's so awesome. And to add to what I was saying earlier, yes, you can have a dope ass guitar skank, but of course everything else falls into place afterwards. If you have a chugging bubble or an organ bubble, and you have a nice little, steady piano skank holding it in there too, and of course if you have, the drums and the bass doing their job, then it's just going to make for a classic record, a classic song. Reggae is upbeats and downbeats. That's
Right.
all it is. And I know it sounds dumb and funny, but it really is. Analyze any good reggae song, and it's upbeats and downbeats, and that is what makes us move.
Right.
Go
It's the call and response between the downbeat and the upbeat. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
And that's why you really need, like, if your job in the band is to be emphasizing the downbeats, then you need to be emphasizing those downbeats. A lot of reggae bands that I see, everybody, the drummer, the bass, everybody's trying to emphasize the upbeat.
Thank you.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? And there's just no groove that way.
Or for example, a reggae bass player that you hear someone, they don't know their role. So maybe the bass player is too busy, and he's not leaving a gap, he's not leaving space, or his lines are being influenced by not reggae. They're influenced by rock or whatever else. Cool, do what you're gonna do. But if your mission is to try to really achieve an organic OG reggae sound, that is what the definition is. Like you said, everyone has to kind of know their role, and I think when we move, like just our bodies naturally, primitives, like when we're just moving, that's what it is. We're bobbing up and down, up and down. That's what it is. So,
Well, maybe you, but
yeah, you're bobbing left and right.
I
know you.
let's not get hysterical.
Let's not go into bobbing. But it really is. It's funny to think deep into it, but it really is. Like when some of these dope tunes, maybe they have a bass line that's really emphasizing the downbeat, right? Ska music is like that, like
Right. Exactly.
Like a brevet would give a breath there. And
By
then,
the way, happy birthday to Lloyd Brevet. Today is his birthday.
no kidding.
Yeah.
I did not know
So-
that. Happy birthday,
wow.
Lord Brevet.
So way to
Wow.
mention that.
That's awesome, man.
Man, so that tune you play, a couple things about it. One, like if we're sticking to the musical side,
Yeah.
I love like from that era of Lee Perry Productions, early 70s. I love the way the drums are recorded. That's one of the reasons why it's impossible for anybody to go back and get reggae to sound like that nowadays, because like I was listening I was like, is there a hi-hat in the song? And I was listening, and yeah, you can, if you really try to find it, you can find it. It's in there.
Yeah.
But the only thing that you really hear is the kick drum, and everything else is there. Like you'd miss it if he wasn't playing it, right?
Right.
But it's not. I mean, far be it from being overbearing in the mix. It's almost not even there in the mix,
Yep.
and it just like it leaves space for everything else, And so like now, if you go into a studio, it's almost like you're hurting yourself when you have too many options nowadays. When everything is completely mic'd up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no one would ever be like, well, turn those hi-hats down
Right.
and turn them down more, like more. Like that's way too low. But just the way it works in that Lee Perry era. And I know, I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know like how conscious a decision that was. I know a lot of it was just due to like what, the microphones and the how many
Right.
tracks they had available and all that stuff. But like whatever it was, I mean, it's addition by subtraction,
It was out of necessity too. If you want to really talk about Lee Perry, if you gave him a lot of the modern equipment we had nowadays, and you gave it to him in the early 70s, of course he would use it. I mean, I'm not gonna say of course, I don't know, but he, out of necessity, he was bouncing, let's say a 4-track,
sure.
right? So he's bouncing things in order to put more things. That's what you do, ladies and gentlemen. A 4-track recorder. I don't want to go into a recording podcast here, but
Yeah.
that
We
means
got guests. We got guests coming up,
You have
Roger.
guests coming. You have 4 opportunities to record onto tape. You got 4 different channels that you can dedicate, and so you have more than 4 instruments, especially when you start layering background vocals and whatnot. So what Lee Perry would do, and a lot of people, they'd bounce tracks. So now you would have, I know, maybe the piano skank and the guitar skank, and so you'd bounce those 2 tracks into one. Now it frees up another track. So that creates the whole texture, creates the whole painting. And that's why you have a million people nowadays that are trying to, replicate. And a lot of people come close, but no, you ain't going to replicate. And yeah, Lee Perry's a genius, man.
He really is. And the last thing I want to say about that song is
Yeah.
that like there's a bunch of versions of it, right? There's like
Yeah.
6 or 7 versions over that same rhythm of that song. Like,
Right.
and the one I grew up, because that was one of those tunes that like I heard very, very early on, like in my reggae listening life. And the one I heard was like there were more harmonies singing with him instead of like all the call and response in that version.
Right.
But every version is great. That's like every time I find a new version of words, it's like, okay.
Dude, new version. I encourage everyone after the show to go on YouTube and look up The Gatherer's Words rehearsal. There is a rehearsal
no
version,
way.
dude. And you get to really hear, like, for us producers or people that try to record some OG reggae, you get to hear kind of the rawness. You hear the before and after. You hear kind of what he did to achieve, the final copy. But things sound different. Levels sound different. Things sound, drier. So yeah, go check that out. The
I'm gonna
rehearsal
check
copy
that out.
of words. You guys will trip out
I've
on that.
never seen that.
But without further ado, we have some special guests on the show with us today. Me and Devin been listening to reggae for a long time, really in the culture of reggae, and I think Hawaiian reggae has its own. It's like it's in a positive. I'm gonna say it's in a positive way. It's like its own bubble. It's got its own scene, and the more and more I discover bands out of Hawaii that are playing reggae music, the more and more I'm a fan, because there's some special element or elements that just remind me directly of Jamaican reggae, and I'm a fan of Jamaican reggae. So it's like it's a beautiful thing. It's like, wow, every band that I'm hearing that's coming out of Hawaii over the many years that I've been in reggae music, it's a no-brainer, man. This is a great band. So without further ado, we have Leslie Ludiazo Bimwala from Jboog's band and Zion Thompson from The Green. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, boys.
Woo, what's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
Aloha.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're all masked up. Nice.
I love
Being
it.
very responsible.
I have to make sure.
Got to be responsible,
Man, you
I
guys
trust
looking
him.
fly.
I trust him. It's just,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
For the-
Yeah,
Wow.
they're looking fly, man. Look at you guys. I like that. We're ready for a show.
We were
I
just
love
talking
it.
about how Raj, every time you're on a podcast, Raj,
Yeah.
you just looks so just
Flawless.
legit.
Oh man, nah, I got red skin. Ladies and gentlemen, if you notice, I'm
the
red.
shades, I think.
Oh yeah, the shades are so that I can look. I'm
like
watching cartoons on the side over here. So I don't have to pay
Let me
attention
see
to the
the
podcast. I got some dope ass Tom and Jerry cracking over here. No,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It's good to see you guys. Yeah.
It's good to see you.
Likewise, man.
In a world of quarantine, everyone dressing up for like the Zoom interactions or the live stream interactions.
Yes.
That's all we can do. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet you got surf shorts on underneath, like me.
I don't have. I'm Donald Ducking it or
Yeah. Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh in it.
Yeah. No, we've been talking about this. It's been a theme on the podcast so far. It's that we just don't wear pants, and we forgot to tell you guys we just encourage no pants on this show.
All
So, yeah.
Oh, especially if you have ammunition, what's going on in this room.
That's
right now.
true. That's true.
You know what? I really want to start, the show with this, because you got to clear it up for me, guys. Because I remember when we were getting ready for the show, we're trying to think of, well, how do we, properly present and describe? And of course, the word Hawaiian reggae comes into play, right? But now we're thinking, okay, well, how, is it something that most people, they come from Hawaii to play reggae? Is it something that they kind of praise that saying, or is it something where it's like, that's kind of like, a hokey saying? Like, what do you guys think about that term, Hawaiian reggae?
I think this one's it.
Pretty much the latter. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. It progressed when I was younger. I remember when I was real young, we were listening to, it was like Gregory Isaacs and stuff like that. It was the music like our older brothers and our older sisters listened to it, stuff like that. So this Hawaiian thing, when it came about, there was a lot of people that were like anti-Hawaiian because it was just sort of, I don't know what it was about it, but it didn't have like a legitimacy to it. Sort of, it felt like if you loved roots reggae music and you loved Hawaiian music too, it just didn't seem like there was anything authentic. Almost, it seemed kind of, a lot of times, I mean, not everything, but some of it would seem corny, And so I think some of us took sort of a negative connotation to, like you say, Hawaiian, and we're like, "Ah, we're not Hawaiian."
Yeah.
But there's not. It's not a negative thing. It's a now. It's been years and years. The
Yeah.
term's been around for 20, 30 years at least.
Right.
So it's kind of grown.
I
But
think the thing for us was like we didn't want to get put in a category for appreciating an art form, and it
Mhm.
wasn't us trying to make it ours. It was just paying respect of what we grew up listening to, what all the other artists have done before us.
yeah,
So we felt
Jamaican
like,
reggae.
yeah,
Yeah,
and for us it's like, you know, it's all respect. So we didn't feel like it should have been a Hawaiian reggae, but over the years, come to realize Hawaii have created its own sound when it comes to reggae,
Mhm.
and it came to be more acceptable over the year. But back then, it was like Hawaiian reggae guys would be like, the guys that play roots would be like, don't say that out here. You can't, they'd be like, yo, I'd be like, yo, I didn't mean it like that, But now years have passed, it came
that's
to
true.
understanding. It's just that people that's not from Hawaii are trying to figure out what this sound is because they know it's
Yeah,
reggae, but they feel a little bit, there's so much harmony, a little bit more strings. It's just a different vibe, so they end up calling it Hawaiian reggae. I don't think it was a bad thing, but
yeah.
even
Now
me,
it's kind of okay. It's
yeah,
like we
yeah,
don't think about it how we used to. Sort of.
yeah,
It's kind of progressed
Wow.
yeah,
in a weird way, just because it's known. Before it was only in Hawaii.
Hawaii,
Nobody
yeah,
else knew about Hawaiian.
Hawaiian reggae,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was just in
Right.
Hawaii. So you were like either or. It's like now it's like kind of what is representing Hawaiian
yeah,
reggae music. So it's kind of a good thing either way. As
either
long as
way,
it's getting
And
out there, it's cool.
and do you think that term becoming more accepted, as you guys are describing, has something to do with in the last 20 years, 15 years, maybe Hawaiian reggae gaining a little bit more like
definitely,
legitimacy in the eyes of like super heavy like roots heads, because like with bands like, because to me, like, I had always known about Hawaiian reggae, but it wasn't until the last 15, 20 years when I started hearing about groups like Ukla the Mock, Rudical Rhythm and bands like that, where I started realizing like, oh man, like there's, in Hawaii, they're dedicated to like Jamaican music. Like they're putting their own, like you can tell it's Hawaiian because, it's got their whole vibe and culture in it, but you can tell that they love Jamaican music and they're paying
Hear the
respect to it.
elements of, like you
Yeah.
were
So,
talking about earlier, the push and the pull and all those
yeah.
things. Like
right.
we kind of
So,
are aware of it. Yeah.
So do you think maybe that has something to do with like the term, like, because in the early days it was more like trying to establish that no, we're trying to play like roots reggae, but now it's more established already, so people are a little more comfortable with that term. Do you think?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
It's just as time has went on, it's been a little. It's just before. So back when that kind of, there were only a few reggae bands in
Yeah.
Hawaii anyway.
Yeah.
There was like Hawaiian was like one of the. I think they formed in like '83. They were one of the first reggae bands from Hawaii, and they were covering like songs from like the Marleys or different people. They
Who
were
can you say their name
they're
one more time?
Hoaikane, Hoaikane, Hoaikane. And I don't know. I heard a rumor. I don't know if it's true. I heard that they were the first reggae band ever from Hawaii to ever play in Jamaica. I don't know if that's true, or maybe one
I
of the
heard that
main
rumor
guys
too.
traveled there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. It's kind of,
Something like that. So they're kind of legendary, And growing up in Hawaii, playing reggae or just listening to music from our age and our kind of generation, they were kind of one of the first groups that sort of.
And after that, there wasn't really like, there was a few of them, but everybody really kept. And the ones that really started playing roots, like Uka the Mark and Rudical Rhythm, like you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
Dub Cruncher, there's a bunch of them. And all of them are so, all of them really didn't want to be called Hawaiian band because the respect they have for reggae music, they wasn't trying to change it.
Mm-hmm.
They were just trying to appreciate the art. So when people came up to them and those times say, oh, you guys are Hawaiian reggae, they were like, no, we just playing roots reggae. And the whole thing, I remember it was hard time as a drummer to get a gig with some of these roots bands that I love, including one of Zion's old band, because they wouldn't take anybody that was so busy. They wouldn't take anybody that was not sticking to the script. They were so strong about that they would not exchange, like band member would not be able to sing with another band playing because they stick with the whole crew and they just practice for hours and everything was about that strictly roots. So they really took that term Hawaiian. So over the year, I feel like when the world started accepting Hawaii as like a hub where a lot of reggae music do come from, the OGs over here start getting more comfortable. I guess it's okay because they don't know. So to them, they're putting us in category as Hawaiian music. But as long as we out there and we're doing the good work, it's fine, But back in those days, it was not acceptable until like only I would say the last 10, maybe 10 to 7 years, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like getting a little bit better where it's, everybody put in the work from the Green to like, from Boogs to everybody put in the work to kind of like, you can call it whatever you want at this point, but
whatever you want.
Whatever
Just
you
listen
want,
to it.
I
Doesn't
just
matter.
listen to it because the
Exactly.
message still goes across.
Right.
And
it's up to you what you want to call it,
it's
what
up to you.
each song means to you.
But to us, it still remains as like paying respect. There's nothing else going and taking somebody else's culture and trying to make it yours.
Right.
To us, it's always about paying respect to that and the music and the time to put in to establish the culture to where it is. We're not gonna go away and just take it away and make it Jawai, But
Right.
it's a sign of respect that people that don't understand where we're coming from, they have to put us in the category. So it ends up being Hawaiian reggae.
Right.
No disrespect to any
Anybody,
super Hawaiian.
No.
Any of you guys who are just real.
I
into
played
the,
in halal Hawaiian bands.
There's a time and place for every kind of music.
There is.
Like no matter what, and like the Green, admittedly has our own songs that are poppy, that are a little bit on that bubblegummy side, just to be sort of radio friendly. Like I can't deny that.
Nice.
So and Boogs has them too, So
Of course.
but no disrespect to anybody like that. But yeah, I think a lot of us, we were so into like the roots of stuff that there was a difference for sure.
That's what I respect. I mean, I won't say the most, but I mean it's a big part of. I wish more bands were like that and had that pride and had that bar. Where there's a certain importance. To the original reggae music, and there are a lot of bands, in California, and but I think by default also, it's just a lot of bands that come out of Hawaii that are playing reggae music get lumped in with the Cali scene. Obviously, it's booming, and it's cracking. So it's like, I've talked to people, and we'll talk about a band that's obviously from Hawaii, but it's like, oh yeah, they're really good Cali roots band, and they assume that they may be from San Diego or something, or I don't know. But us that listen to the music,
point. There's sort of a little gray zone right there.
So the thing happened was, they came to a point. A lot of reggae bands or artists in Hawaii felt the needs. If you want to make it, you gotta leave. You gotta leave Hawaii. Yeah. So a lot of them left Hawaii. Just like anywhere else. We're in the middle of the ocean, kind of limited in certain resources. But we got like band like Ukla and Mark, other bands that are so strong. They're like, we're not going nowhere. We just gonna stick here and practice the roots. And we are other bands decided we want to see the world, So when they went down there, a lot of people had no idea that they actually was from Hawaii, and then they found out later. So it became like a thing to do. And even for us, when I was playing the Green at one point, we even thought about let's move out of Hawaii, let's move to Cali, and maybe But then we came to a point we sat down. We like, there's no greater feeling than at the end of the tour saying I'm going home to Hawaii. I'm going home to where I belong instead of somewhere I don't live, And then over the years, Hawaii became I remember back in the day when I was young, you should be like, we got to get out there and record with the big dogs. Now I go on tour, people tell me, we got to go to Hawaii. Yeah. What is going on over there?
That's how I feel. I want to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Please do. But it's just a fact of like believing in the process and believing in your craft and believing in the time you put in together to really understand this music and what it means and what it does and going out there and doing it, For all of us, music was just a gig. But now I remember hearing people saying it's a mission. I was like, no, it's just a gig to me. The older I got, I came to really understand how this is really a mission. To us, what we do is it's almost like effortless sometimes at times because it's regular. We spend so much repetition listening and practicing this, it becomes natural to us. But what it means to everybody else there is priceless, So it's always been the balance of trying to keep that being authentic from Hawaii by trying to respect the reggae scene and what it means out there. And to be able to go out there and do it now,
Right. Do you guys, I know when I talk to a lot of people, when they first try to describe reggae music, or maybe they don't even know anything but maybe a couple Bob Marley songs, there's some misconceptions. They think reggae music, and it's music I listen to when I'm on vacation. And I remember talking to people. I was joking with Devin about this. That some people think, "Oh yeah, reggae is nothing but steel drums and this." And I'm like, "What?" And you know what I mean? It's just funny little anecdotes.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when people think, "Okay, it's like a vacation music," okay, well, yeah, I guess reggae comes from Hawaii or reggae comes from Jamaica because that's what most people think of when they're on the beach,
Yeah.
the white
Well,
sand and stuff.
because they come to vacation in Hawaii and it's on the radio.
Yeah.
It is the vacation music because if you're vacationing in Hawaii, 3 or 4 radio stations
Yeah.
out of the 7 or 8
Yeah.
that you're gonna come across
Yeah.
are gonna be playing
Right.
reggae. Half of them are playing reggae.
Like
So
literally, each island has over
at least 2 stations.
radio stations that's playing
Yeah.
24/7 reggae.
And it's been like that for
It's
years.
literally the only state that I've been to. I toured in my whole life all over the world. I'm from Congo. I never heard so much different styles of reggae ever. Like a lot of artists, like reggae artists, even Junior Gong from Revolution to Soulja, they all say when it came to Hawaii, but before there wasn't anything, people over here accepted them way
Yeah.
harder because the radio station here is
Well, Soulja, for example, Soulja, they said the first sellout crowd was in Hawaii.
yeah
The first time they ever heard themselves on the radio was in Hawaii.
Hawaii.
It's like Hawaii embraces reggae
Yeah.
from the rootsy Jamaican
Yeah.
to every rock hybrid version of it from the East Coast to the West
Yeah.
Coast and in between, and Hawaiian stuff too. And they embrace it all, especially for us being, if it's Boogs and Hot Rain, or if it's the Green, or if it's any other band that tours, Maoli,
Yeah.
anybody from Hawaii, it's like we have the support of Hawaii, which is
Hawaii.
a huge thing,
Yeah.
and that's like our power
I
behind.
can
Not only coming home to it, but having that to
That-
project us out on the
Yeah.
road. It's like it's a real special thing for us.
Expanders were in Hawaii like in I want to say 2014 or 2015, and we rented a car. We were driving around the islands for a couple of days, and like we would be listening to the radio, and I'm not even exaggerating because we would just start remarking on this, that between every commercial break we heard the Green at least once. And I swear one time we heard you guys twice between 2 commercials. And same thing with like at that time it was like Tribal Seeds. They were playing a lot of Tribal Seeds and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Just some stuff I didn't recognize, but it was so dope because it's got to be unique like in the world for like a place to A, have that much reggae on the radio,
Yeah.
but then B, that specific the specific mix of tunes
Yeah.
that they have, because
unheard of.
you'll hear like the Green, and then the next song will be like a modern JA artist, and then the next song will be like some really local Hawaii group
Yeah.
that no one outside of Hawaii knows, and then and then there's another Green song. So yeah, it was. I mean, you guys are totally right about like just
So
the radio.
back in the day, the radio never used to play
wasn't-
a lot of
It
heavy
wasn't,
roots.
Yeah, it wasn't always like that.
It wasn't. It was so hard. So, for example, the Green, when we started the Green, the first album, if you ever heard it, if you now go check it out, it's mostly heavy roots. There's only a few love songs, but because the radio here only loved a lot of love, give uplifting song, it was hard for us. So we literally sat down in the room and pretty much wrote a song, put a song called Lavai. We targeted towards the radio and made it stripped down to the point the radio accepted us. We realized that instead of going to the radio trying to get them to play roots, let's play for the people. And then when the people want us, the radio can't deny it. To the point the radio has to play. So Lavai was the first one. It blew up. It was like 3 years in a row, #1 song. But in the midst of that, there was the whole album had heavy roots. So now with the people's favorite, the radio's like, let's check out what else they have in the album. It's all roots. But they have to play. So to the point, never a lot of the song, Dear Sylvia, it came down to a lot of songs that we never thought would be out there playing on the radio, and I'm playing on the radio. For example, Ukla the Muck would never be on the radio. But now you hear Ukla on the radio. A lot has changed. It's always been reggae, but they were so scared of the very roots reggae because the island, everybody trying to provide the happy, outgoing, uplifting spirit. But it came to the point as
I
an
don't know
island.
I don't even know what it was really. It's hard to pinpoint
It's
what
really
it was, but the timing just
the
happened.
timing just happened, and they
Kinda
were just
when we
like,
started to.
Yeah.
They started playing more stuff.
we really saw the transition. It used to be you had to go to another island to listen to some heavy roots on the radio. Or
Yeah,
you know,
you had to go to Maui.
Maui.
You had to go to Maui and to their
Yeah,
radio.
but now it's all different. Everybody's playing heavy roots.
Now we all caught up.
Or even just to hear a dub. You hear a dub in a song, the radio would never play. If there's a dub in a song, they're like, no, that's a lot of dead space. We used to be like, my gosh, how do we go around this? But now I hear dancehall songs, I hear heavy roots. Some songs are halfway dubbing. I'm like, makes me happy and everything else.
Oh, look at the magical
Delivery.
hand that comes in.
Jboog
you
right
got
there.
you got a
That's
hoagie.
Shout out to the
You got a
magical hand.
sandwich.
This guy.
Jboog.
Ooh, what's up, Boog?
Jboog, what's
Yo.
up, mate? You know, okay,
No
so
big deal.
I'm getting the impression that it
We're
did.
at the top.
There was
Sorry.
it was a journey. It was somewhat of a struggle for the radio stations to play some
Yeah.
root stuff. Well, how about going back further? I mean, is it likely that nowadays you'll hear like rock steady music or ska music on the radio,
Yes,
or is that
it's been
still
happening.
kind of
See, the music here has been changing drastically because it came to a point where we was that age trying to fight to get the roots on the radio. Now we the generation that has to kind of like apply it now. Now we're on a platform that we can do it. So
It's already there and happening.
Yeah, it's already happening.
The music is coming. So music comes out.
Yeah.
It's honestly not hard to get music on the radio too if you're a local artist.
Yeah, it's not hard.
If you have a basis and you basically kind of take care of your branding, so to speak, and maybe have, so where you're not just one song out of nowhere that you just recorded, but maybe you have a few and you're really working towards it. It's not that hard to get music on the radio and going.
wow?
Because and that's partially because of the social media influence and because it's just, if you have your stuff together on your end and you release something, people want to hear it.
Yeah.
The radio is going to play it.
And the radio is going to give you
They're
a
gonna
chance
want it
more
too.
than ever. They give people. I talked all that
dope.
together. Be like, we're gonna let it run for 2 weeks and see how it does.
See,
Compared to like
there's
you might not
requests.
even make it. And if it doesn't make it that much, like it doesn't get that much rotation, they'll slowly put it. They won't just cut you out. So one thing, shout out to all the radio station in Hawaii. Literally, they support a lot of good reggae because they're the gatekeeper to what the people really want to listen to, and it's hard sometimes as artists and producer, so you got to work with the gatekeeper. They got to understand you got to understand them.
Right.
Gotta
So,
pay the toll.
yes.
Get them a sandwich. Get them a fruit basket. A little rhymer never hurt.
That sounds like
something.
They're playing your music,
Yeah, they are.
You have to,
That sounds
Right.
like that's the new band name, the Gatekeepers.
the gatekeeper.
Dang.
That's good.
That's fine.
They already sound like heavy roots.
Heavy.
Yeah, for real.
So they're not gonna play them.
So
Oh, no, they will play him now.
They will play him.
They will
No,
play
now
him
they'll
now.
play
Not-
him. Now
not
they'll
back in
play
the
him.
day.
KTUH will play them. KTUH.
So I know like both of you. I really wanted to ask both you guys about how you got into playing music. I know both of you guys got into it at an early age, and I'm just really interested in like both your stories, and maybe we'll start with Leslie and then go to Zion. But yeah, just like how and when and why, like about how you got into music.
Do I have to follow Leslie's story?
You go first, then Zion. You go first. You go first. Zion first. Zion first.
My story is not as interesting. As
No.
Leslie's.
I tend to go left to right from where I'm looking, so we go right to left from the.
I'll warm it up.
See,
Mine was so my family is from Hawaii, but my dad joined the Air Force, so we moved to the mainland, or they moved to the mainland, and I was born in Texas. We came back to Hawaii when I was right before first grade. It was like 6 years old. So I grew up from then on, and when I first came back, I remember life before Hawaii, but I remember when I came here, I remember hearing bands like Kapena. I remember hearing bands like Hoaikane, Brother Walter, and these kind of reggae Hawaiian bands. And it was like, I'll never forget the first time I heard them. It was just something so different and so special. And as I kind of grew up, I started playing ukulele, and I wanted to play guitar, but ukulele is so much easier. And everybody would walk around your elementary school playing ukulele. It's just the instrument that everyone played. And as I went on, I eventually graduated to guitar. And then in high school days, we started a band called Stir Crazy. Ikaika Antone, who is our keyboardist in the Green, he played in Stir Crazy.
I'm about to stop him right there. Heavy Roots band. I used to go to his gigs and be in a crowd with my best friend, sneak up in there and watch this guy play.
We were pretty heavy.
I'm just gonna leave that out there right there. He's being nice about it right now.
We were heavy. There was a big underground scene. There was something really special in Hawaii at that point.
Mm-hmm.
What year was that?
I would say this is early 2000s. This is like 2000.
3, 4,
1,
5.
2, 3, 4, 5. It's
Yeah.
like there was bands, the Ions, the Irie Souls. There was
I sold you.
Hot Rain had been around forever,
Mhm.
forever. Actually, Stir Crazy, my band with Ikaika, we had a battle of bands against Hot Rain years way before this. Years, we were in high school. Battled these guys at Ko'olau Golf Course, I think it was.
Yeah,
Is that right?
it was.
And they beat us. They smashed us. It was like crowd applause
For the love of
winner.
music. For the love of music.
And
guys.
they destroyed us, and I'd never seen a local band so good in my life. It was
Nice.
I think it was Carl. I don't know if Blaine was there.
No,
I think
no,
Longa might have
Longa
been
was
there.
Yeah.
All the guys who are still in Hot Rain to this day, and they were just amazing. So there was a scene, there was stuff happening, and my band was kind of there. And then eventually we just kind of all met each other, you know. And I remember the first time I met Leslie, he was going to play keyboards with us for a singer named Sarah Indio. And we rehearsed and everything. And then when we got to the show at Pipeline Cafe, they wouldn't let him in because he wasn't 21, so he didn't play the show.
Yeah. I
So
stood
we
outside
didn't
with
have
2
him.
keyboards,
He had his
and they told
keyboard.
me you can't go, and I'm watching them playing on
Young
stage.
boy, like 20 years old.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
it was like
man.
so sad and like, oh man, I didn't even know he played drums. Come to find out, he's one of the baddest drummers I've ever heard in my life.
I love playing keyboards. It's fun.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the basic story, and then things kind of, you know, bands kind of split up, and eventually whoever was left, we sort of formed the Green. But that's the simple story. That's my story. Leslie's story is a little cooler.
That's
Hit
what
it,
I mean.
Les. That's a great story.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Keep it Sims, you know.
Well,
I
I'm
like it.
originally born. I was born in Africa, Republic of Congo. Used to be called Zaire. For those of you guys who don't know the movie Blood Diamond, you know,
Oh, Rumble
Ali,
in the
Rumble in the
Jungle.
Jungle. That's where I'm from. And I escaped. Like supposed to be one of those kids holding a gun. It's like crazy thing. I escaped. My parents are pastor, moved to Canada, and I remember they told me I was 9, 10 years old. They told me, go to Hawaii, go visit your older brother. But I know they didn't want me to go back to Africa. They knew I lived in Canada for a year prior to here. So when I got here, I moved to Kailua, where Zion grew up. Went to Kailua Middle School, and no English. I'm from a family like we play music all 24/7. But before this, the only instrument I played was trumpet. You know, I was trained. I went to school for it. It taught me a lot. So, and because I couldn't speak English, I started hanging out with kids that had similar talent as me, which was music. So this kid, I forget his name, Shane. He had a ukulele, just like him. Ukulele is the easiest thing to carry. So I told him, teach me how to play ukulele, and I'll pick you every time we play basketball to be on my team. That was the deal.
Perfect.
I said, I'll pick you. You teach me how to play ukulele, and he taught me how to play ukulele. I started winning ukulele competitions.
You
And
guys started losing basketball games.
no, we never lost, but it wasn't bad. But you know, but it came from ukulele to me,
Shane.
to me going to like I literally started jumping to different instruments because if I see somebody killing an instrument, I believe that I can do it too if they can do it. So now I can play over 14 instruments, but at the time it was an experimental. It was like, can I get good at it? Can I try? So once I get good at something, I'll stop. From there, and I end up jumping on a band called Hot Rain. Now, Hot Rain is a band I jumped in right after high school, and Hot Rain backed out pretty much any reggae artist that will come, Jamaican or anywhere, come to Hawaii.
Nice.
We was the band to back them up. From Junior Reed, Tanya Stevens, to Egyptian, Don Carlos, we was the house band, and we'll talk to the manager like, you don't need to bring your team. Save the money, put that in the pocket, pay us a little bit, and you know, it became a relationship till now we have. So from there, with Hot Rain, we started backing up some of the greatest artists in Hawaii, as Fiji. And then literally around that time, my band was going on a little break. I was living with JP Kennedy, which is the guitar player of the Green, and Caleb, the lead singer. And at the time,
Yeah, boys.
yes, they used to just invite me to the house. Let's chill and make music. Before even the Green came out. And then next you know, JP Kennedy came in my room. It's like, yo, we got something. And I feel like we should just do something with it. And he literally called all his boys, which is like Zion was one of them, Kaika, and to all of them, whatever you're doing, quit that. I got something good. And I remember sitting in the room looking at JP telling me, he's like, yo, I'm going to tell him this. We need the boys on this one. And he got everybody to quit their bands or job, whatever they have, to come together and join this thing called the Green. And we lived together, whoever that could, and everybody else lived close by. And from there, it just escalated from that to producing. I started producing more than just being a studio musician. People start trusting me with the whole album, or EP. To now I have my own record company. I'm
Grammy nominated, right? Grammy nominated producer.
It's literally 2 times. It's literally like a dream, you know.
You should see his home videos.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's my life is like, I truly believe anything is possible. You know, I'm a testimony of that. If you don't believe that, you believe in me, then you believe that anything is possible because you just your journey, how you get to where you want to get to. They're all
Right.
different. So my musical journey, I'm inspired by my family and by my friends. Literally, if anybody can say Bob Marley, I can say that all day. But the people that was right next to me when I was working out, doing all this, was my friends like Zion, Bugs, all these guys. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, my musical journey really came inspired by the will of wanting to be better and to feel something that you never felt before and trying to duplicate that to other people. But the
Mm-hmm.
people that really pushed me a lot with music and becoming where I'm at is literally my peers, my friends around me. They are my biggest inspiration. We all can say Bob Marley, which I always will. I can go down the list, you know. I can go down the list of artists I look up to, but to me, the biggest people in my life when I can't listen to this is my friends close to me. So
Right.
yeah, my musical
Oh,
journey is pretty crazy, and it's never ending. Like we all know, you know, music will just keep going.
wow. You know, it's funny because there's twice you've kind of shared in two different like examples, like the sentiment of someone saying, "All right, quit all that, or you're gonna be just
Yeah,
kind of like just our guy or just
yeah,
exclusive
Yep.
member." But
yeah.
it's really a trip because on the other end, there's so much camaraderie and love. I just by this interview alone, seeing the examples of how much you guys up each other and how much you guys up other bands in Hawaiian reggae and the whole scene. And it's different because the Cali reggae scene. You got great people. You got drama sometimes here and there, whatever. But every time there's a certain camaraderie that comes in there. I mean, do you guys notice that? Do you guys is it like like a brotherhood amongst
So
each other?
in Hawaii, like I never left Hawaii because the respect and family is everything. That's like two top thing, you know. Friends become family. You respect me, I respect you. It goes far, you
Yeah.
know. And as Hawaii, every time we go on tour, remember back in the day when we used to go on tour, they used to look at us like, "Oh, this is Hawaiian band. What are they gonna dance hula? What are they gonna play?" I never forget
Dance hula.
not get treated good. We didn't get treated good in the
No, we
beginning.
didn't until we hit the stage.
We
and I
hit the
heard this guy
stage.
play the drums in the.
We get off stage. I don't know where the manager comes on. Whatever you guys need, we got it.
Then it's cool.
And to us, it should be like really how powerful music is. You can judge us by the way we look, but once you see us on stage and off stage, your whole perspective of who we are and how we feel. Because when we play on stage, we're really playing for ourselves. And we're having a party. We're hoping that you enjoy us and join us in this party. You know, because you part of the party, but we're not gonna force you to join the party. We kind of are, but we want you to join it. You know, it's always beautiful. Like on stage, the first time when we used to play, I used to be so nervous. I'm like, what do we do? And then JP's like, bah, let's just have fun. It's us on stage, like we're back home in Hawaii. And if
Right.
they want to join us, they're gonna join us. But they
Right.
gotta see us having fun.
This guy is he's saying he's nervous.
I
He's
get
saying he's like looking up to all of us. Honestly, like it's the opposite. Like he's being so humble. He's the one that pushes all of us. He's the one that tells us, "Hey, get your shit together. You better get to work." You know what I mean? Like, bruh, that harmony is flat. Let's work.
Uh-oh. I can't be the band with you. I can't take that.
Do better. That verse is good, but you can do better. This is the guy, and if you think about his journey and his story to get here, he's not from Hawaii, but he is one of the main influences in the scene in the last 10, 15 years
Mm-hmm.
because he's just, like been a part of the production and all these different bands that have come out
Thank you, sir.
and it's that's what I'm saying. It's like the brotherhood
Yeah.
aspect of
Yeah.
it is deep. It's like
Yeah, it's
we've
deeper. We care for each other.
and we've been kind of creating we've taken the torch from all the ones before us in the scene, and
Yeah.
we're creating also, perpetuating what was already happening, and we're caretakers of it. But it's like someone like Les has been like such a huge part of the success of so many bands just behind the scenes, just in so many ways.
Well, we're
And
responsible for each other, you know?
Right.
And the whole music industry, like, it doesn't matter. We're responsible for each other. Like, we got to believe in each other. We might not understand each other's journey, but if we all going the same common goal, we're responsible for each other. So to me, it comes to a point where nobody's saying anything. Somebody needs to say something. And usually it doesn't mean that I am
that guy.
It doesn't mean that I am
Hold
not
you accountable.
sensitive. That this it
Yeah.
just means
And that's what you need.
I need to step up.
You need someone
So
to hold
somebody
you
gotta
accountable,
be,
right?
you know. So
And we all have our shortcomings. Like
Yeah.
nobody's perfect. Like,
nobody.
we all gotta hold each other accountable
Yeah.
sometimes and be like,
We call each other out on things. This which I love the most, because most bands when we started touring on, we have bands on tour and the same tour bus, they don't even talk to each other.
Wow.
And they come to our tour bus, we share everything.
Yes.
We like literally we fight, cry together. We was known as the band like, oh, they fight all the time, but they laugh all the time. They cry all the time. They go to places all the time together. we treat each other like a family, you know.
Family,
If you base us on like us
you know how it is on tour, man.
yeah, you know,
It's
Oh,
not.
yeah.
but you only have each other, and
You get closer than you've ever been. man,
Ever.
with some of your
You
friends.
know everything about everyone.
Oh,
You're like,
yeah.
that's his favorite
And-
color. That's what he smells like.
Yeah. That's what he smells like on Monday. This is what he smells like on Tuesday.
Tuesday, after
When
a
they
whole
leave each
set.
other alone.
Yeah,
That's that's one of the signs of dysfunction in a band is when you can't tell somebody that their harmonies are flat. You know, when you when you're hearing something and you look within and you're not coming from a egotistical place. You're just like, hey, we're talking about music and I hear something wrong, and then when you feel like but maybe they're gonna get defensive, that's one of the first signs that you're in trouble. You know, so it's beautiful that you guys are able to talk music with each other, and the person who has something to say feels that they're gonna be listened to and all that. That's beautiful.
thank you.
This
Oh,
guy,
you guys
I think he
are
wants to make a
switching it
cameo,
up.
bro. I haven't even drinking the first one again.
We
Are
need
you
to do
guys-
it. We need to do a cheers. I think. Hold on.
Yes,
Here we go.
we do.
Hold on.
Wait, let me see.
Here we go. Wait.
Oh, he's gonna open his strawberry. Is that a strawberry, Devin?
No, this is that's
Roger.
this is Angel City. Hey,
Angel City. Oh, that's
guys-
a nice can. Yeah.
yeah, this is a sour.
Stop there in this one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. And cheers to everybody out there.
Yes.
Yeah, man, great to see you guys.
Aloha, you guys.
Oh,
Hold
go
on,
ahead,
Raj.
Dev.
Hold that thought.
Oh yeah.
While we were doing that, I wanted to show you something. Zion in particular.
Man like Devin.
Zion, check this out. This is from the first tour the Expanders ever did. The Green took us on tour.
2013.
Yeah, it's the Green,
Yeah, on tour.
the Expanders, the Movement. This is from the last two nights we did at the Douglas Fir in Portland.
We had 2 nights in a row. That's right.
And I
remember
think,
that.
hold on, let me see. I'm pretty sure that's Zion right here. It says, you can't really read it, but it says aloha, you fuckers.
That's
Oh,
it.
that's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's it. That's
But
it.
I was
this
just
is now-
thinking about that the other day, man. That tour. that we did.
it was, I mean, it was Expander's first real tour. So, first of all, thank you for that. But yeah, that, because
I'm
it was,
honored. Anytime we can bring out a band like you guys for your first tour, it's an honor. It's like a feather in my cap. Right?
I mean, that was a
so
feather.
we got
Well,
to do
that was a
for
feather
honor.
in our cap, and that's not just because it was our first, but that's just always been one of my favorite like tour memories when I look back at touring. It's just that one, because not like we were really new to not just Hawaiian reggae. Actually, I knew more about Hawaiian reggae at that point than I did about the whole American scene. That was our first real like venture into the American or like non-Jamaican scene that was really blowing up at that time. So we didn't know what to expect. We had been just insulated in LA for 15 years at that point, just listening to Jamaican music. And so, to go out with a band as good as the Green, not to mention the Movement, it was like, it really let us know that like, on the one hand, like we're so stoked because there's so many good bands, and on the other hand, we need to step our game up because we're maybe there are some great bands out here. So that tour, like I think that the combination of the timing and the people and everything was such a great experience for us. And not to mention like you guys talking about how you guys were are so close on tour and have family vibes, and you definitely extend that to the whole tour package, and we felt that and appreciated that being on the road. For our first time, so
Brother,
cheers to that one.
It was our pleasure, man. We're so stoked. We were I think we did. It was 2000. I think we did an Audio Tree live recording. We did Audio Tree live, which is basically, I don't know if they play it later. It's not a live stream like this, but it's in studio jamming. And I think Caleb, they asked Caleb like, who's he listening to nowadays?
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned the Expanders. And I guess Chiquise was listening.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
He was listening, yeah. And then so somehow we linked up after that. And I think a couple of you guys came to a show at St. Rock.
Yeah, that's it.
in
Saint Rock is no longer there. Did you guys hear that?
No.
It's done.
What?
Yeah, the whole.
I didn't know that.
There was an article and everything. It's kaput. Saint Rock. And I was like,
Wow.
wow.
There's
That's
a lot
crazy.
Of places, man, that are
As of
on the
recently,
verge.
in the last
It's
month.
I've done a lot there.
Sucks, man.
I remember.
Sure
That
you
does
have.
suck. Wow.
You guys,
But,
Devin has definitely been in the Hawaiian reggae. He was sharing
Wow,
bands
Devin,
with me.
I'm shocked right now. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised though, because we loved you guys because of your vocals, because of your kind of, we could tell that you guys had a background in more of a rootsy kind of.
Yeah.
We could tell you guys, and we were into that.
Shout out to my boy Manny.
Yeah.
It's funny when Devin mentions that, because for me, my introduction was like in the late '90s through a band called Go Jimmy Go. You guys know that?
Wow, no way.
And so those are the homies, just because obviously they are more on the ska rocksteady vibe, and that's where I come from, and so after broing down with them, and obviously becoming friends with them and knowing their music, it's like the doors opened. Yeah,
Dude, we played Expanders. The one time we went to Hawaii was, like I said, it was 2014, right around there, 2015. It was to play the drummer from Go Jimmy Go's wedding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
man.
played at some ranch on the North Shore, like some up high, like just, so this crazy like ocean and hill view. It's amazing.
I mean, every place. I want to go
I
back.
have a
Devin,
question for both of you guys. You don't have, in general, of all the reggae, Hawaii reggae, which one is like your favorite? I mean, there's a lot. It's hard to answer that.
Right.
There's a lot. Just like me. Which one would
Bro,
be
what kind of question is that?
Because we
put us on the spot.
I'll
do it.
No, I love this question.
I love it. I love it
It's
too.
good to know what out there, what other people like.
Who do you
especially
like better,
guys.
me or Leslie?
No.
Yeah.
There's no
Okay.
wrong
No.
We-
That's a
we've
question
done
we
that
have
before.
later. With
There's no wrong.
we'll
There's no
do
wrong
that before.
answer. There's no wrong answer. here.
Okay,
Just-
so
Go ahead.
I'm
Devin.
because you guys are both on the show. I'm gonna leave
should
out the
all
green.
answer
I'm gonna leave out the green
we'll leave
and
out that.
Jboog, but
Yeah,
you guys
leave
are high
out-
on my
leave out
list.
that. Yeah.
But for me, it
Obviously.
was my first introduction to Hawaiian reggae in general was like around 99 or 2000, right around then. I went to Tower Records in Los Angeles and bought, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a compilation of Hawaiian reggae and like Jamaican music that was popular in Hawaii. And I bought it because it had Picture on the Wall by the Naturalites on it.
Oh, okay.
But that's how I first heard Ukla the Mock was on it, and it was early Ukla the Mock, right? So it was like that tune Roots music. Yeah, that one with that guitar that's like quank 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 quank.
Yeah, Killer P.
Quank, quank. Yeah.
Sure.
That and then they had another dub. They had it was called like Dub Intermission or something, and it was like a 10-minute dub song like in the middle of the
That
so
was big. Yeah, that was a big CD.
right. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. It had like Eddie Grant on it, and
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, what was the one?
War
You
Party.
invite me to a war
Yeah.
party. Right? That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah,
It had
Picture on
like
the
a
Wall.
picture of a dude, like kind of like a kind of cheesy graphic of a dude playing like guitar or something. I don't know, but you guys obviously know it.
Yeah.
So Ukla the Mock has just always been one of my, not just Hawaiian, just one of my favorite bands ever. Like,
Yeah.
I love them. And then like we went to see them. Not to digress too much, but in LA for years in the 2000s, there was a club every Tuesday night called Blue Beat Lounge in Hollywood that our friend Chris Murray would run. And it was ska, rocksteady, and reggae bands every single Tuesday. And in the early 2000s, it was like every week, it was just heavy hitters. And I want to say it was 2004 or 2005, Ukla came out, and it was their first mainland show ever. And they played this little room, because the room they did it in was like a 70-person capacity or something like that, like tiny little room, and it was packed. And at that point I only knew those two songs from Ukla, but I was going every week, and I saw that Ukla was playing, and I was like, oh, that's that band from that compilation that I really like. Hell yeah, I'm going. And it was, to this day, it's one of my top shows, like that. I could not believe how good that band was. So
Ukla in their prime with the
Yeah.
original singers, with the
Yeah.
original lineup. I mean, today they're still amazing to this day, but in their prime, yeah, that's like some of my memory highlights of my life.
Yeah.
man, kind of
me too. That show,
artists,
I saw them downstairs after the show, like in the garage, and I remember feeling like super starstruck. It was like my like that was my home. I was so like that was like my area. Like we would, and I felt like I was like whoa, like I just felt that feeling you get when you see somebody, you know, that just like you see an amazing show and then you're like embarrassed to talk to them afterwards. So that and then this is a band I got into later. But Rutical Rhythm, I really love.
JC.
I'm a huge fan of JC. I love the 4-piece band.
Four-piece.
4-piece band came out and played my wedding last year. They're one of my favorite bands. And so after I got into 4-piece band, I was like just such a JC fan. And some of my homies told me like, oh, you got to listen to his old band. And so I started listening to Rutical Rhythm, and then I just was like, oh man, it's just JC's got something special, you know. So those are my two answers.
Songs are so rootsy too, man.
Yeah,
those are just.
Okay, Roger, your turn.
Wow, Devin just straight up. He's got it all.
I needed to know this.
I'm ready to say all the wrong bands. Like go. Well, you know what? Revolution and Slightly Stupid. I love them. You know, the Hawaiian bands. They put Hawaii on the map. Really. I'm not. You know, like I said, really good. Back in the day when I was, you know, you get into the music, and I got into ska music when I was like a junior high school. So I've been listening to some form of Jamaican music all my life, and I would be really, you know, I'd critique all these bands that tried to play it, because a lot of bands it would just whatever, they'd be influenced by other things, but it wasn't like traditional, authentic. And so you definitely Go Jimmy Go is one of the bands where I was like, man, they got it right, and that's why, you know, when I say there's something. You know, there's something about Hawaii and the music that comes out of it. It's because there's definite parallels to Jamaica, you know, and I don't know if it's because, you know, the default easy answer is because, okay, islands and everything, and, you know, you got the beach and sand. You know, there's Mike Love is from, I mean, he's doing his thing. I'm not a huge, I don't know everyone's discography. I just know a couple of the artists that I know are from there and they're doing their thing. The Steppas too, are they from?
The
Steppas.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like I said, I haven't dug deep, but when the bands that I have heard, they always stick in my head as like associating with, okay, they're from Hawaii, you know.
I want to mention one more before I forget, is that like a guy right now that I'm really into is Kanaka Man. I think
Kanaka Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he's really dope. I love his style.
He's definitely one of a kind. He's influenced by a lot of old school dub, rocksteady. He's amazing. There's a bunch of that generation of music. I would say that age of music, reggae that's coming up in Hawaii, like Lico Jordy. There's a bunch of them.
Love it.
Like slowly bringing that vibe, and it's amazing to see because a lot of this young generation, you feel like sometimes like, do they know? And then there's a few of them who just pop up and we're just trying to, bring back that old school feeling, which I really appreciate a lot. I've been seeing a lot of it happen. Maybe I'm not paying attention out there, but in Hawaii, it's been happening a lot. A lot of this young generation bringing back, like I would say, the 70s, 80s style of reggae back. You know,
he definitely has that. Kanaka's got that like 80s, like Yellow Man flow, like his vocal phrasing. You know what I mean? He's got that flow, and I love his videos where he's like freestyling, and then he's always posting videos of like backyard parties where they've got the sound system going and they're all on the mic, and I get so jealous every time I see that because there's nothing like never in my life. I mean, I'm 37 years old and like I've never had that yet to this point in my life. Is just like some kind of regular backyard party where we're hooking up a sound system and dudes are like jumping on the mic over dubs, and like he's always posting these videos and it's like in Hawaii, and I get so jealous watching that shit. It looks so much fun.
They used to do this thing called the rubber dub on Wednesdays, like Ukla the Mark, Jack Gumpian, and Kanaka Man, all of them would go to it, and it's literally a bunch of selector DJ would go on and play tracks. And any MC that's out there that's willing to jump on, will just jump on and freestyle.
That's beautiful.
And they will do it for literally 3 hours straight. I've been to like 3 of them, and it's the most amazing thing. Because
they've been doing that for like
years.
Last couple decades, probably.
And you don't even have to be a reggae background kind of. I brought singers there that's not reggae background singers, and they jumped on the mic and they had the best experience because it's all about expressing yourself to how you feel at the moment. But if you're around that kind of vibe, it's always good vibe. So obviously, good things will come out of that.
That's like another parallel to Jamaican music too. It's like this, the sound system culture, having an outdoor dance. You know what I mean? And that's
right.
I love watching it in Hawaii. It's just I love that dude's videos. That's dope.
Yeah.
So I'm coming out there, is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
Oh, let
And
us
we're-
know.
And we're going to a party.
I'm coming out. Me and Devin are moving out there. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, check it out. Whenever I'm on tour, anyways, people think like I'm from Hawaii. I got this Hawaii. People think I got. They do.
I was
think
gonna say
have-
JP Kennedy.
You know what I mean?
Not me.
Oh,
Jordan.
not
It
Devin.
was not me.
People, I can pass off. I just need a bigger tan. You know, it's funny, Leslie. You mentioned that a lot of these younger bands are coming up and kind of incorporating and being influenced by maybe different eras or different styles of Jamaican music. And so, you're producing for a lot of these younger bands, right? You're
Yes,
working
I
with a
am.
lot of them. Can you talk a
Yes.
little bit about that?
It's been very interesting because as a producer and a reggae music lover, I always go back to my playbook, which is the old school guys, you know, Israel Vibration. I can go down the list of guys, culture, guys that I grew up listening to, and try to not lose that vibe, trying to educate the new guys with that. So I came across a bunch of few artists that work with certain producers that I work in my studio, and we all work together. And it's amazing to see that how much they teach me on some things that I feel like I should already know. But because they wanted to be not like everybody else and be different, they fell in love with that era of music, which a lot of people right now are not really into. And unless you introduce them to it, you know, like most people now, if you realize everything is Afrobeat, soca, a little bit of dance, it's a little bit of fusion of that. That's where the planet is at right now. I mean, no matter what, to me, love is rock and roots is all day. I'll sleep and breathe that.
That's this
Oh.
guy's zone. Like you bring him a lovers rock tune
You would
in
lose
like
me.
A major 7
You would
or
lose.
something like that. He's gonna produce the shit.
That's a 10-minute session for me. That's
A
a 10
major
minute
7.
it would
That's
just
his
come
wheelhouse right there. Anything really, but yeah.
So it's
that
been very
jazz and
interesting
vibe is,
to see these young kids out here, and they have like this whole pack of kids that will meet, like Devin was saying, that will meet in the backyard and just like will just play instrumental, and they will just jump on the mic, and it's like a family vibe. They bring the kids, they bring their wife, their girlfriends, and it's literally a whole day thing. I'm talking like 7 hours of just rubber dub nonstop.
Wow.
You know, sometimes they do it on the beach. I remember the last one I went to, me and Books went, it was a sandy beach. It was amazing, and it really makes me happy to see that. And now the radio station is playing a lot of those music from those kids, so it's kind of like the circle of music. Everything is coming back. But those times of music and reggae music is some of my favorite. So it's good to see that a lot of these young kids. So I created a space, home for them where they can go and practice that craft. You know, ask questions from us that what you guys used to listen to, and I asked them a lot of questions. What do you listen to? What did you find?
Right.
You know, Googling yesterday. Like, what did you find? You know, like it's crazy because I end up learning a lot from them than I ever thought I would. You know, I know a lot, but
yeah, talk about gatekeeper. You want to use the word gatekeeper. Like Leslie has been such a huge part of, you know, getting people to whatever the next step in their career is or in their musical journey is. Like, you know, from production to songwriting to just encouraging you to just work a little harder to whatever it is.
yeah, just connecting the dots. I feel like a lot of people just overthink. It's a basic thing that all musicians and artists do. They overthink, you know. They want to be the best. They want to bring out the best. They don't want to be like everybody else, but yet they want to be them. So they overthink.
That's what it is. That's
so
what it is.
my whole process is to let them overthink and then show them, I gave you a chance and look what you did. The process is just overthinking. Music is about releasing. You know, I read a book that a chapter one of my friends sent me one time. He goes, when we create music, is for that specific time, how we feel. So release it, because that means you're about to go to the next section in your life. That means you can build onto that. We grow as music as time has go, but we take what we have from the past with us. We don't leave it behind. We have to take it with us. If we act like we're not taking it with us, we obviously not learning, you know? So it's about the journey and taking what we learn and apply to us, you know? And a lot of these artists are just have to tell them, stop overthinking. Release the music and keep going. Learn from it. Especially around this time, nobody knows who you are. What are you overthinking about? You know, that just enjoy. People losing the fun, the excitement of just like, let's see what happens, you know? They have such a plan. Everything is planned. We expect this number to be this, no. Back in the day, a lot of these people had no idea. They made it big because they went from feel and how they felt was right to them. You know, they practiced the craft for months, for years. I remember talking to some of my boys in Jamaica. They said Bob used to practice for years. His band, no gig. His band used to be like, when are we gonna gig? Like when, you know, when it came down to the gig, they was flawless because it was nothing to them. It was just like another day doing what they've been doing. You know, the whole process. So it's just different now because a lot of these young kids, you know, you only can have the attention for like 5 to 10 minutes and you might lose it. So to be able to keep them there with you is you got to keep them interested, you know. So
Right.
it's been a good journey, learning a lot. And as for me, growing older, I'm 35 now. I'm still, you know, there's a lot of new stuff happening. So hanging out with this new generation, I learn a lot from their generation. Now they
Totally.
respect that I learn from them. That means, you know, I can teach them stuff. You know, they're more open to listen to me instead of, I feel like that's my secret. You know, accept, and then they will listen to you. Nobody gonna listen to you if you don't accept how good or bad they are. You know.
Hmm.
True. True. That's crazy because you guys are seasoned cats. So like, I you know, I'm curious. Like your songwriting process. You guys are both great songwriters, and you guys been in the game for a bit. So, Zion, we'll start with you. Like, what's your songwriting process?
My songwriting process, I mean, I think everybody is sort of just whatever comes to them, is great when you get that inspiration. But really, just getting up in the morning and heading over to the laptop, turning on Logic or Ableton or whatever it is, and just going to work. That's kind of my songwriting process. The inspiration or the melodies I have in my head, or that I play on the guitar, I'll sit there and I'll start jamming something, and maybe I have a hook in mind or a melody, and I'll just kind of go from there. But I just been kind of hitting up my computer and starting to make basic rhythms. I'll put down the chord progression. I'll try and put a basic drum beat and a bass line, and if I can come to Leslie with a bass line, a chord progression, a feel or a groove, he'll handle the rest basically, and like some lyrics. That's basically what I like to bring to Les, because he's the one who produces most of the greens, almost all the green stuff. So I'll bring it to him, and then we'll kind of go from there, and we'll just develop it and build it from there. But I mean, I have a real simple process, just like anyone else. It's like you
Right.
just gotta sit there and go to work. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know what the finished product is gonna sound like, and I sit there feeling kind of overwhelmed because I'm like, okay, I'm sitting here, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but just start doing it. Start
Yeah.
thinking, okay, what would I put next? What instrument do I want to hear? Okay, am I done? Okay, I can't go any
Hmm.
further. All right, I gotta stop and bring this to my boys, or show it to the green guys, or you guys got melodies, less, whatever it is, and then we kind of take it from there. That's how I do it,
How,
and I'm
how,
lucky that I have the guys to take it to the next level. I'm
right.
super.
Right. And Leslie, how about you? I mean, do you wait for the inspiration to come, or do you find yourself sometimes going, "Look, I'm going to write a tune. Let me sit by the instrument and then let it flow from there"? How do you rock it?
To me, to be honest, I'm inspired by everything. Literally around me. If you leave me in an empty room, I'm gonna write about this empty room that I'm in. Like, I always felt like we always have a story to tell and how to tell it. And to me, it was the music. So I literally, my favorite part is not the beginning or the ending. It's the in between, the process. So literally, some days I come up with a melody. My voice memo is lit. My voice memo, I just record things. I'm like,
Yeah,
Right.
it's
yeah,
so crazy, but it's the biggest thing I've been telling a lot of my
yeah.
artists. I'm like, voice memo or anything. Back in the day, we didn't have none of that.
I
I would hum
agree.
the whole thing over and over
Right.
until I get home and trying to find a way to memorize this. Like we didn't
And
have
we
that
know
tool.
you guys do the same thing. We know every musician listening does the
Yeah,
same thing.
man. You're in the
It's
car.
like,
You got like melody. Okay, grocery
Yeah.
list. Melody, grocery list. All right. What did I forget? All right, cool.
record this. Yeah.
So to me, it's like I'm really inspired by everything. Like I feel like our life is a story. So when I work with artists that tell me, "Oh, I don't know what to write about," I'm like, "That's a song. You don't know what to write about. I'm sitting here. I don't know what to write about. I'm trying to figure out how I can make my life better. I can make my feeling comes, but I can't. That's a song. Now put that to words and let's get to it. And it goes back to overthinking. I used to overthink a lot how the process of making beats. But when I took that out of the window, it doesn't matter. It comes from a melody, bass line, drum part, or anything or noise I hear, I want to sample that and put that in and create a song, you know? And like I said, the beginning is not really, and the ending, we know it's either going to start and end somehow. But the in between is what inspires me, where I'm at. And where I'm at, I always would name whatever I'm surrounded by, I'll name the song that, just to have some kind of connection with where I was when I made the beat or when I made the song, when I made that verse. So I'm literally inspired by it. And there isn't a day in my life when I sit down on the laptop and I say I couldn't figure out what to record. It hasn't, because just my life and moving around a lot and being all over the place,
Yeah.
I've learned a lot and inspired by everything. So it's really easy for me. I know it's not like that for everybody, but for me,
No, yeah. You inspired me right now just giving that speech. I want to write a song right now. I'll see you guys later. We need it.
How about you guys?
Yeah, how about you
Oh
guys?
no. That's not part of the deal.
We told them that. Yeah, it is. We told them to ask questions.
Oh, we told us.
You wanted this, Roger.
I know you asked for this. I don't.
It can't be that different,
I keep it short, but it's funny is I feel a lot of musicians out there are trying to. They wait to be inspired to write something, and I can take, for example, if you write a love song, right? You need more people. Some people are more successful if they're if it's coming from the heart. Yeah. And I've written my fair share of songs that come from the heart, whether it's about being sad or mad or in love or whatever. But I'm pretty good at just being like, if I need to write a love song right now and I'm not, I can do it. You know what I mean? Because it's just, and it's the cool part about me and Devin is I know Devin is man, he's such a talented dude when it comes to like the words he uses, and when he's, it's not cliche, his lyrics. They're not just like, a cat and a mat and a rat and a bat or whatever, the rhyme.
Hey, wait a minute. That's pretty good. You're not gonna like my new song.
Dang it. But I feel like, the more you write music, the more you start to figure out like, okay, cool. You want to massage. Some of them songwriters are still in different stages, so that try not to be too cliche. You write the hook. There's so many parts, right? We're all songwriters, we know. Go ahead, Dev.
Well, first of all, I totally agree with the voice memo. Like, I'm a big fan of voice memo, because like you said, back in the day, I mean, I don't even know how I wrote songs without voice memo, because I'll be driving along, like, and you nailed it. Like, it used to have to be like you were driving and you come up with a hook, and then you're like, shit, like I can't stop singing this, and like I can't pick up any phone calls, like I gotta get it home until I can finally record this, and then like you start losing it and you start like corrupting it, and you're like, you get home, you're like, no, that wasn't it. Like, I love that like
feeling of, oh man, I'm losing it.
Yeah, that's the worst, when you like you had it. Like, whether or not you actually had it is like beside the point. When you think you like how you had it and then you can't remember what it was,
your fingers,
that's
like gold.
I would have eaten the whole day after that. I'm just sad.
Exactly. But now, so what I really like to do is like, if I come up with something, just record it, voice memo, whatever it may be. If it's a melody, or if it's like some lyrics, and then just continue with just like singing, tra la la to like some kind of melody, and then forgetting it. I don't always do that, but like that's what I really love, is like when I'll be driving and come up with the thing, and then maybe like, all right, I got it down, and then I'll keep driving, and then like I'll forget about it, and then like a month later I'll come back and look for it and be like, oh damn, like that was like,
I did that. Oh my gosh.
But don't get it twisted though. There's some of them voice memos you listen back to, and you're
for sure.
You're like, I saved that. You know what I mean?
No.
Never once has that ever happened.
What was I singing Madonna?
Everything has been perfect.
I don't know why I'm singing Madonna in this song.
It's like, hold on, I must have been early in the morning.
Right. You're like, wait a minute, that sounds like "Stir It Up" from Bob Marley. What am I doing here? I'm just like, da da da. Yeah, I hit gold. I hit gold.
That's good.
Let's stir it up right there. Leslie, I definitely want to talk about the Bimwala stuff, man. You got some music cracking. I mean, I heard you even have some stuff coming out, a funk EP, and so talk about what you got cracking.
It's been a journey for me as a producer, and just because I came to a point, I tell all these artists like what to do when it comes down to recording in front of a mic or performing live as an MD, and I wanted to feel how it is to be behind the mic, like if I'm going to tell you how it is to be, and I just started doing it as practice at the studio, and then it came to one point, I do this thing in my studio. We used to do it at 2 p.m. We all meet, we create together. But before that, everybody create on your own things that you need to do for whatever project. And at 3 p.m., we all meet in one room. Oh, what we got to do together? Talk about family, talk about whatever. But then one week, the whole crew wasn't there in the studio, just me. So I hit up one of my boy, Pana. I said, Pana, what are you doing? He goes, I'm sick. I was like, oh, just me here. He goes, you're in the studio, create, record. You have a mic, you have everything. I was like, this. All right, he's right. So I started recording, voicing myself, which is I don't feel like I have the best voice because I'm so surrounded by a lot, but I learn a lot from my people, my surrounding. So I started doing it. Next thing you know, I literally started building an EP, a funk EP, which is weird because I listened to all kinds of music, and at that time I was not listening to funk, but it just started flowing.
You just sat there and started creating.
Yeah, so it was a
Okay.
process. I ride my skateboard from my house to the studio because that's my only time alone. I put my headphones, listen to rough mixes. Nobody around me, just me. I can get there in 20 to 30 minutes. So I started listening to just Spotify, and melodies are coming. I turn off the Spotify, voice memo. Da, 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 and by the time I get to the studio, I'm recording the whole full beat. I remember the first day I recorded 3 songs, and it just music and lyric, everything. I just said that, I was like, what is happening? This is not even like, where is this coming from? So when it happens, I seize the moment, I kept going with it, and I put the funk EP on the side. I was just so nervous about it. I was like, I showed it about you to my peer. They was like, Les, this is beyond. I got Jameer Morgan, and one of them, I have like a lot of heavy hitters on it. And I just put it on the side because I was like, this is sacred at this point. So I moved on like I always do, and I started doing a lot of melodies that came with like Love is Rock. I love Love is Rock. I always have melody. So it came to the point a lot of my producers in my studio was battling. Should we start doing our own thing or keep producing other people? And then Pana told me we should produce other people as always, but we gotta start releasing our own thing because we have ideas that sometimes doesn't get the pass to go through, but we know it's good. So what do we do with those ideas? Because if I bring I bring a track to an artist and they be like, "Oh, the beat's nice, but I'm not feeling it." What do we do with the idea that we feel that is still good?
Right.
Do we just
Is
put
it
it
just
to
gonna
sleep
sit there
because
right on the shelf?
so I've realized as producer, you believe it's good, let it out. It's just music. What let it out.
Yeah.
So we
Right.
started doing that, and literally just, and it helped me to understand the other side of being behind the mic, to be able to explain to my friends when they come in, oh, I know you're nervous. I know there's nobody in the room.
Yeah, now you know how it is.
I
bro.
know now. I really do. I'm not speaking out of pocket anymore.
Freaking yelling at us. No,
It's notes, nigga. But
no.
now I know that feeling it is to be able to sing live and sing in the studio is. I always knew it was different, but I caught myself like my voice would come muffled for some reason. It's almost like you're shy, because I didn't have the energy around me to yell back and to feed off of. And I'm in a room with just me and a mic and one other dude, and we're looking at each other like, make me feel good, make me feel some type of way through the music,
Mm-hmm.
and became to that, to the journey as a producer, to becoming in the front, which I am not a good singer, to be honest. I just know my lane, and I learned that, and it's been taking me in a place where it grew me a lot as a producer, understanding. And my whole motto after this, it became literally less is more, and which is, my name is Leslie. So it's been like the heaviest thing, and I used to hate that saying. When I was a little kid, all the OGs would be like, "You play too much." I'm like, "I'm playing drums. Look at all this. I gotta hit everything." But now, the older I got, less is more resonates to me more than anything, and it goes back to Crazy Ballhead, Bob Marley. There isn't not much going on in that song, but every time you hear that begin, it makes you feel some type of way. There isn't much, literally, but that feeling of less that becomes more became something that really triggered a lot in me. And that's been something that I've been chasing a lot as a producer, as an artist, Bimwala. So a lot of the songs that I released as Bimwala has been literally
Love you, bro.
less is more. You
Right.
know, not that
Yeah.
much happening. Let's feel the music, because so nowadays the music's so complex. Everybody's so badass at doing all this riff or this drum fill. that they rely on that to make people feel like, yeah, that was bad. But to me, it's like, yo, reggae music was meant to support the message, not to overtake the message. Let's support them and let's create a platform where the message can be clear and still feel good, even if the guy's not talking. You feel some type of way. So when he comes on, it's like, oh my gosh, like, like crazy ball head. The first time we all heard that, I'm pretty sure it was like, what is this? Like that feeling. And it's not something you teach or recreate. So that's what it's meant.
And for everybody out there, you want to check out what's cracking with Ben Waller. We got a free MP3 download on our website, thereggaepodclash.com.
Yes.
It's a song called Loving Tonight. Amazing tune, man. I was bumping it leading up this week. And I mean, shoot, well, you can't sit back and go, talking about getting in front of the mic. I mean, you need to be putting albums out left and right. So
I know. Now, how it is. Once you do it, you got to be consistent with it. You got to keep going. You can't. So I have a lot of music happening. I have
pressure's on.
I have an Afrobeat EP that's like African. I'm gonna be singing in African. My native language, Lingala. I got a lot of music happening. So it's been a blessing to be able to learn from my peers, learn from people I work with, and be able to let it out, and just take away of being shy to do something that I actually love. Let's give our best in every angle of what we love. You're not giving your best until you really like, oh yeah, I can play this, but I don't like doing that just because that. Get better at doing that so you don't have to feel like you hate doing it, Let's be really good at all around what we do. I feel like we all can offer more,
Most definitely. Oh, geez. There's what did I have in here? There was a cover. You also doing a cover EP of 90s female pop, indie country stars in the reggae. So I wanted to ask you on that. It's like, what can you say about that particular project?
Yeah, to me, the project was I used to listen to a lot of remix of people doing songs that's not reggae to reggae.
Right.
But when I got older, I realized that there's some songs that I wanted to hear, but I didn't ever heard it on reggae. So like to say, if you feel like something should exist, create it instead of waiting for somebody else to make it. Figure out how to make it happen. Yeah. So that's what I did. So all the songs I'm gonna be on that remix EP is gonna be literally songs I grew up listening to as a little kid. Yeah. My parents listened to, my auntie used to listen to, my Hawaiian family used to listen to, and from Shania Twin to a lot of OG stuff that even all you guys hear, you'd be like, wow, it put you in a place. I remember.
Like what? What else is on there?
I got Shania Twin in there. I got Amy Winehouse remix in there. I got the only most recent one I have in is a Beyonce one. Nice. And that just is because that's the only Beyonce song that I like. That's really speaks about love in so many different ways. Because if you know me well, I'm a lover. I'm a roots, but mostly heavy lovers. And
Zion, is this true?
He's a lover, not a fighter. So he says.
I fight for love. Let's just say that.
And I love to fight.
He loves. It's two different things. Guys, we get to my favorite part of the show. What's not my favorite? I love hearing all of our guests talk, but it's the funnest. I think it's this rapid fire question part of our show. We wind down, and the premise of it is, you guys know we're gonna just hit you with some quick questions. You give us some quick answers.
Right. You guys, maybe you guys got kind of dark in there. You guys want to turn the light on for just for this section? I know it's probably hot where you're at.
The light is on, but the other light died.
The light just died.
So. It died. Okay, no worries then. Leave it then.
The light was like, I'm out.
That's okay.
We don't have anything, any other light.
The light didn't. The light didn't.
Yeah, at the end of the road.
Yeah. Pretty soon we're just gonna be black.
Just fade out
into it. I need to start the rapid fire question round with this question, all right? And it comes from a loving place. So we'll start with you, Zion. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yeah. Why not? Anything on pizza.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Come on, man. No.
Okay. I respect it. Devin?
Oh, are you asking me that question?
Fire. No, rapid fire.
I thought I was like, you already know how I feel about that. Okay. Sorry, you caught me off guard. Okay. Pancakes? Oh, we'll go Leslie first. Pancakes or waffles?
Oh, waffles.
I'm gonna go pancakes just because
Oh,
he went the
Z!
opposite on my last one. So.
I didn't. No, but that's how I felt.
Depends if I'm making it or if someone else is making it.
Yeah, that's
Oh
true.
yeah, that's a good answer. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a great answer.
Banana
Yeah.
pancakes.
Zion, whiskey or tequila?
Oh, whiskey, bro. Whiskey.
Les?
He's gonna say whiskey. too.
Whiskey. It's
Guaranteed.
impossible.
there you
I
go.
green rum is
Yeah,
it.
no, yeah, whiskey. Jameson or
Yeah.
maybe Crown. It used to be Crown when we
He was
started.
crying for a long
Now
time.
it's Jameson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking about that green tour. There was definitely a lot of whiskey drank between all
That
of
was
us.
early. That was 13. It was probably Crown.
It was
back
Yeah, it
then.
was
Crown.
definitely Crown. That was like
Yeah.
because you
Crown.
guys were drinking Crown, and then the next like long tour we did was Tribal Seeds, and they were drinking Crown, and we were like, okay, I guess everyone just drinks
Yeah.
Crown in this scene.
I'm glad we-
And after that, Expanders were a Crown band, and nah,
No, we couldn't. Our rider never quite got to Crown, so we were Jameson mostly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jameson's way better. You
Yeah,
know,
Jameson's
Iration would drink Jim Beam. That was
Yeah.
That's
their-
right. They would.
Yeah.
I can
First
attest-
tour we
attest-
went on with them, I came home and I was craving Jim Beam. I
Jim
went
Beam,
and bought
me
a
too.
bottle of freaking Jim Beam.
I did that, and I threw up. I was like, I'm
It's
good.
gross though. I
Yeah,
don't
it's so
know.
gross.
Okay,
Next
Leslie, ankle socks or crew socks?
Ankle socks.
There you go.
There
There
it
it is.
is.
Just pass that over here, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ha ha.
Yeah.
Jameson, sponsor
Hold on,
everybody in here, please.
Yeah.
My vote is no socks because I don't like to wear shoes. So
I had when I was writing that question, I suspected that Zion might say that. So
Like
Yeah.
that.
Zion, what size
All
feet?
barefoot,
What size
guys.
feet? What size feet?
15.
15.
Zion, have you
Oh.
ever worn shoes on stage?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
You know
It's
how
like-
it is, bro, when you're playing in like I don't know Colorado and it's like
During the winter.
I guess that's true. That's true. That's
I don't
true.
know, there's
But
been
even
events
then,
where-
man, even then, I feel like I don't know. I feel like Hawaiian guys just get a pass. Like they can wear sandals on stage. If I wore sandals on stage, like I would never hear the end of it from anybody in my band.
Yeah, man. I
You'd
don't know,
probably
it's
stub
like-
your toe the first time too. Like the
I
universe would be
definitely-
like, universe would be like, no, dog.
The feet
Put
take a
those on.
man.
No
You-
dog.
You gotta have
No
thick
dog.
skin literally on your feet.
All right, Zion, texting or talking?
Ooh.
Truthfully,
Depends who you are to me.
Yeah.
I like that.
If you
That's
had
an
to
honest
pick
answer.
the right answer.
Honestly, I'd rather talk because like texting. I mean, I'm gonna talk my text into my phone anyway. I'm not gonna type it
Gotcha.
out anyway. So.
Les, what do you think? Text or talk?
Me talking, I like to hear the tone because in texting it could go any
Too many
way.
things get
Yeah.
lost.
So to me, and that happened to me a lot to me because is he joking or is he serious?
Ah,
Is he-
right,
like,
right.
I want to be able to hear the tone of the voice of people when I talk to them. I'm just a people person. So
Yeah, pass that
Ooh, you guys done messed up now. I'm gonna be calling you left and right,
oh.
and then don't try to text me back. I'm like, what's up, guys? What's cracking?
I'm Olivian Red.
I'll be stupid if you give
I'm
me
like, what's up with that skateboard? Let me get on real quick. It's over.
I'll be stoked to get a text.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with the feet since we're on the subject of feet. We were.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I'll go Zion first on this one since I know he rocks the sandals.
I have feet.
Yes,
Does he have feet?
Yeah, he's got flip. I know for sure he's got feet. Flip flops or slippers. The
Oh.
difference being, the little thing that goes in between the toe or not.
Yeah.
There's no difference. It's just what you call them. Oh, you
No,
gotta
I'm
call it slippers, bro. You gotta
Yeah.
call it slippers.
No, but I'm
Slipper.
saying like one of them has the
Slip
little
on.
the
Yeah.
little thing that goes like hooks in the toe, and then one of them's just like nothing, right? You just put all
Yeah,
toes
yeah,
in.
you can go.
So-
the Jesus slipper, the
Oh.
Jesus sandal.
Yeah, so I'm
Oh.
calling those.
Sandal.
Yeah, so I'm calling those the slippers, and I'm calling the one with the little thing flip flops.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to correct you because the one with the thing that goes in between your big toe
It's slippers.
is slippers, bro.
Oh, okay.
Don't call it anything.
So
else.
in LA, we
Rubber-
that's,
Don't call
it's rubber
flip-flops
slippers.
And LA, that's the term though. I know what you mean.
I know what
yeah.
you mean, yeah.
But
And, and it's okay, but
he's like,
call
but get it right.
You call it slippers.
Call it
You gotta call it
slippers.
slippers.
Okay,
I
well,
love
which
this.
one? So slippers for you or flip
The
flops?
ones that have the one rubber thing that goes in between
Yeah.
the big toe
Yeah.
and the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll be like Locals or Surfa is the old brands that we used to
Okay.
have growing up.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta call it slipper, right? You call it flip flops or thongs or
Oh yeah, that's
call it
See, thongs is like when I was a kid, like my dad would call them thongs, but now you just can't say
like
thongs
Australian
anymore.
or
So
something, no?
yeah,
I
can't say that.
yeah. Thongs are something else in our family.
Yeah, you can't do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I was gonna say like, I was like, wait a minute.
So which one? What's your answer? Is
See.
it this or not this? Which one do you like better?
My answer is barefoot.
Barefoot,
That's
okay.
the only way to go.
Go.
God damn it.
Go with
Only
it.
way to go. Unless it's snowing. Yeah, barefoot.
Okay. And
me being from Africa, I love feeling the ground barefoot, but I have to go with slippers or flip flops.
now we got him fucked up. We don't even
I
remember.
know.
his-
See, you're calling one of them. You're calling.
I gotta-
one of them slippers. So it's just
Right.
The
I
same
see.
thing.
I see.
We'll have you guys back on because we actually have a podcast scheduled talking about the difference between flip flops.
No.
And shit.
But now,
It's a 4-hour podcast.
now I've created such I just committed such a party foul that like when I come out for that party, like for the backyard sound system party, dudes are gonna be like, hey, like you were pretty good on the mic, but like, what's up with you calling flip flops slippers? I heard that.
Yeah.
No. It's all good.
And send them to a IG. We're gonna answer
Call it
that for
whatever
you.
you
We're
want.
gonna
Okay.
make sure we take care of that question for you.
Yeah. We're gonna
It's the
do.
Hawaiian thing,
Yeah.
No offense.
I-
None taken, none given.
Yeah.
This will
Okay.
be the last one unless you have one more. But I will.
I do have a few more.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Okay. We'll do it. This is my.
Keep going, keep
I
going.
love this question. I love asking this question. Leslie, what's your favorite cereal?
That's so hard because I love cereal overall. I try not to eat it, but I love it.
That's what the rapid
Frosted
fires.
Flakes.
Okay.
You frosted flakes?
Yeah, I have to.
Okay, Zion, your
Honey
favorite
bunches of
cereal.
oats. Honey bunches of oats. Almond.
Ooh.
What? That's
Almond. I mean, now when I was a kid, it was like Apple Jacks and like Fruity Pebbles. And
it changes with the time.
I get you.
And as
Cakes.
the wheat strain changes, the cereal changes too.
The weeds train. So you guys, well, on the subject of that, go ahead, Devin. You got maybe.
Well, okay, all right. Well, then I wasn't gonna ask this one since we were running out of time. But yeah, since we're going there, herb, or they say flour, or dabs.
Can we have both?
You got to pick one.
Gotta pick one.
I would say dabs for me.
Wow.
Ooh, dang,
Just to get
dabs.
Sorry,
Sorry.
everybody.
I have kids. I gotta get to the point.
Sorry,
I'm
everybody.
done.
Yeah, you gotta-
It's a little easier,
Yeah.
All right, then.
Right.
Now, when you're on tour, for sure, it's a little easier to sing, when you're not smoking doobies all day long. Take a dab. Or two.
Yeah.
That's true.
Good point. All right, then
Yeah.
to go with that question,
It's the responsible answer.
Yeah.
to go with that question, we'll start off with Zion. Indica or sativa?
Both.
You can't. You need one.
gotta
No.
pick one.
I like to. I mean, it's all day kind of thing, so it's got to be sativa
Sativa.
mostly. But by the end of the day,
Okay.
We're gonna need that indica.
yeah.
Okay, indica.
But I mean, I'm not really honestly that on it with the differences and stuff. It's kind of
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I agree
Right.
for the most part.
As long as
You
it's
know what I
good.
mean? I mean, if I'm like, well, I had too much, I better take it easy.
Yeah.
Then
Right,
that's all.
right.
I mean, to me, indica and sativa it doesn't work. I'm
Right.
just a really active stoner. So once I smoke, I'm just like, we gotta do something. Let's not waste it. Like I want to record, I want to go hiking. So I would rather have sativa than indica. But honestly, if I smoke an indica, I'd still be doing some active things.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
I'm just a different breed when it comes down to
You know what I've
weed.
been doing lately is CBD in my coffee, like
Whoa.
CBD, MCT oil and stuff. Man, it's been
Okay.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
don't
like
know.
it. I can dig it.
feel like it has an effect, like not like I feel it, but like
Yeah.
my body like feels a little better,
Right. It like CBD's kind of like has like an Advil effect. It's like your little aches and pains kind of they feel a little better. I feel that
think
for
so,
sure.
man. That's been a good thing, Getting
Um,
older because so it's kind of
Right.
Kind of
Okay. I got one more, and then depending on your answer, I may have two more. Okay. We'll start with Zion. NBA or NFL?
How can you do this? Like, why would you do this to us?
dude. I mean, NFL, I guess. I mean, honestly, to me, they're the same.
What?
I honestly don't.
See, you can't say that.
Sorry to swear, but I don't give a shit.
I'm
about
sorry.
either
I'm
one
sorry.
of those.
Oh, I
He
get
doesn't
you. I
mean
get you. I get you.
Whoever that's
I will pay
listening.
more attention to
He doesn't mean that.
to the PGA tour or to who's in the running for the WSL, like the surfers.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm not. You talk to like JP in our band. He'll probably know all the stats on the football, on the baseball, and all that. But nah, man. That's like surfing and golf. That's the only sports I care about.
There you go. There you go.
To be honest with you.
What's yours, Les?
I
Right,
can't-
Rob?
That's a heavy
Robbie knows.
question for me because I'm all around any sport he just named. That's my shit too.
Yeah,
But
he picked up golf lately. So
yeah, so it's like
he's getting old.
if I had to pick, I would say basketball because I used to play. I play both, but I would choose basketball just because
Big up Shane.
I ain't gonna get hurt that much, and if I were to watch that, it's more entertaining to see big guys trying to ball in the hole, so it's cool, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, since you picked basketball, I will ask my follow-up question.
LeBron James, if
No,
you if you,
no, it's not. It's
Oh,
not.
no,
It's
no,
not
no.
where I'm going. That's not where I'm going. But this is for Leslie. This is for Leslie.
Oh, thank God.
Zion Thompson or Zion Williamson?
Oh, how can you do it? How do you know this thing?
Oh, come on. Like, you need
No,
this
do you
much
know
time.
Zion? The other
He
Zion.
hasn't.
Like, you need this
He hasn't
much
answered
time.
yet. He hasn't answered yet. That should have been quick.
Wasn't a quick answer
You
either.
didn't answer the question yet.
Because I love both Zion. It's crazy that you asked that. But I'm gonna have to go with Zion Thompson.
That is the
because
correct answer.
I
That's correct
know
answer.
Zion.
Yeah, you better.
I'm answering.
That was.
Yeah,
that
I
was
go
a
with
correct-
William.
That was
Zion
He goes
Thompson.
Williamson.
Thank you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a correct answer. Good job. You saved it, Leslie. I almost broke up the band for a second time.
We're about to fight after this.
No,
He almost
Zion.
the Hawaiian Reggae scene almost broke up. The turmoil.
I know.
Dude, seriously. Like,
The
this-
fun done.
That would be like,
thing.
Ay, ay, ay. Well, dang, it was so good talking to you guys, and so good to see you guys.
Yeah,
boys.
definitely.
Man, miss you both so much. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like as the months draw on, it's like I feel like by this point we would have seen you somewhere, right? Whether it was
Yeah,
like Cali
we would've been on the
Roots or
road
like
already, yeah.
something, like we would have seen you guys.
for
So it's really great to like just get this time. Do you want to really quick, like each of you maybe let the people know like what's going on with you guys right now, how they can go support? I know you guys are both doing backstage music lessons, right?
yeah, we're doing that. I mean, but hey, first of all, thanks for having us, you guys.
Yeah,
Like,
first of
Oh,
all, you
man.
got
having
Yes.
this Reggae PodClash podcast
Thanks
is
for being
dope.
on.
man. Like,
mahalos,
much
mahalos.
respect to you guys. You guys are like, giving people a kind of insight to like people who really love reggae and research the players and like the background from it. So you guys are really giving a lot of life and legitimacy to it. To a lot of people who probably don't even know. So
Yeah.
thank you guys for having us. But
Yeah, man.
Sure.
yeah, I've been doing the backstage music lessons. I think Leslie's been doing it too. We just been recording, and I mean, honestly, that's pretty much it. Like
For me, I just got sponsored by Kala Ukulele.
That's
So
right.
Yes.
anybody that's watching this stream right now, I'm about to hook you guys up right now. So all you gotta do is follow this podcast on IG and follow Kala
the
on
Reggae
IG,
PodClash, Kala ukuleles,
and then
on
just
IG.
show a video of you just watching the podcast itself, the stream, and literally, and just send that, tag us, and you might just win a ukulele. It's gonna be a
Ooh.
nice mahogany one. Like look, you gotta get this. Trust me, as a ukulele player, like it's free. All you gotta do just tag. You're gonna get a chance to win. Besides that, backstage music lessons, I've been doing that. It's amazing. I actually have one tomorrow. It's cool. Sign up on that. We get to talk story. My specialty is usually music production, writing, and drums. So like any other subject that you want to learn around that, please hit us up. Other than that, follow us on IG, Facebook, on website. My website, leslieludiazo.com, or just LBL808 on IG and Facebook. So just follow us, because there's a lot of music happening. And although we in this weird time in our life right now, there's a lot of good things happening. So just pay attention and stay healthy, and that's pretty much all I got. And shout out to my daughter. My daughter watches this, so I gotta
Nice.
shout out.
Shout out.
She's not watching right now because she's swimming, but we've seen this before.
She'll watch it. We archive it. That'd be great.
Yeah, thank
Our
you.
kids are out there somewhere.
Yeah, our kids are all out there.
That's
Shout
awesome.
out to the Kiki. Yeah.
Dig.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much. Like we said, great to see and hear you guys, and we will hopefully see you guys sooner than later, man.
Yeah, it's been
sure.
Yeah,
man.
man. I hope so too.
All right, y'all.
God
Say
bless you guys, man. It's great to see you guys.
aloha.
likewise. Say hi to the family out there, and I saw Boog pop his head in. Say hi to him.
Yeah. Bug say hi too. By the way, he was trying
Cool.
to come in. I was like, Bug, you stay out of here, man. This is not your time to
I
shine.
know he's over here feeding us drinks, man.
Yeah.
What an
Hey,
instigator.
hey.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So definitely, thank
I
you.
think he wanted to say
And thank you to Rob. Rob's over here behind the
Oh,
scenes.
And
big
Rob,
ups to
that's
Rob.
right,
Yeah,
dude. It was so
Rob.
good to see Rob.
He's on the
What's up,
top,
Rob?
man.
Rob, stick
Yeah.
your head in real quick.
The lights work. It's not his fault. I promise.
Yeah,
you
he's
guys.
not a
Oh,
light
yeah.
guy. That's the
not his
problem.
Yeah,
fault.
he's not an LD.
Pointing finger at me, but I don't know.
I was
did
so
everything
I was so
right.
stoked to see Rob when you guys popped on. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Rob
He's
is
a,
the
he's
man.
a secret weapon.
Yes.
This is awesome.
All right, y'all. We'll talk
Thank
to
you,
you
guys.
very soon. Be good.
Yeah,
Mahalo.
boys.
Love you guys.
Aloha, everybody.
Thank you, gents. Give it up for
All
Rob.
right. Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, man, those guys are
That
dope.
felt so
I
good.
love talking to. It's a total hang. It's a total hang, for sure. Whoa, speaking of,
It really made me miss just miss being like out there, and as you know, every time we bring on people that are like that we have close relationships with, I'm just like, man, I didn't realize how much I missed touring and seeing these guys all
Yeah.
the time. But just the Hawaiian vibe in general, like I love Zion, I love Leslie, I love those guys so much.
yeah, it's definitely this is how we're getting our fix.
I know.
It's through the show, talking the musician homies, for sure.
Speaking of homies,
Homies.
next week, who do we have?
Big Josh Heinrichs will be on the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
We're super stoked to have him on here, man. Josh is just an amazing artist, man. He's a great musician, great songwriter, and he's really has a word in what's going on today with the Black Lives Matter and the whole movement and the injustice that's going on. So
Josh is a actively anti-racist.
yes,
He's an actively anti-racist activist in Missouri, which I have been to Missouri a few times myself, and I imagine it's difficult to put yourself out there anywhere, but I imagine doing it the way he's doing it in Missouri comes with its own unique set of annoyances and frustrations. So just on that alone, we got to say big up Josh, and we're stoked to have him. But as anyone who's followed him knows, he's just an incredible musician. So we're stoked to have Josh next week.
he's the perfect example of someone who's playing reggae music nowadays, and how much they're speaking about this, whether it be social media or whatever. Like you nailed it. It's not enough to say, I'm not racist. You have to actively be anti-racist, not just So yeah, we're gonna have him on the show, and I'm really stoked about that. We're digging into his music and what he's got going on nowadays. Devin, speaking about what is going on nowadays, the guys were talking about backstage music lessons.
And along those lines, I got my first lesson coming up on Monday.
Damn.
2:30 p.m. I'm doing a
Nice.
something. Excuse me. All those beers that Zion was giving me, that Jboog was passing over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stoked. But you can go to backstagemusiclessons.com and you'll find Leslie on there. You'll find Zion. You'll find me and a whole heap of other musicians that you can take a lesson from. You could just do a hangout, whatever you want. And, for me, in terms of lessons, it's like if you want to talk about playing reggae guitar, if you want to talk about singing or harmonies, if you want to talk about songwriting, all of those things I really love to sit down and help people with, or bounce ideas off each other. So if you're working on a song and you want some input on that, like I love that. So go check that out, backstagemusiclessons.com. Every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, I do songbook sessions where I just grab the guitar and sit right here and play a bunch of songs, and we have a good time. People tune in and request songs, and it's been great. It's been going strong for the last few months, and I'm doing it again this Tuesday. And go follow me on Twitch. My handle is manlikedevin. I'm trying to accumulate followers there so that we can do. You see all these records I got behind me, and we want to do a DJ party on Twitch soon. So go
Nice.
follow me there. And my channel is quiet at the moment, but just one of these days soon, if
like
you
a
follow me on
volcano.
Twitch, you'll get an eruption notification.
Sure.
We'll do a party. And what you got coming up,
Well,
Raj?
I got nothing coming up, man. I'm just
okay.
a
Well, I'll
boring
see you
little
later.
mug. Later's, I got working on a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff will be coming up eventually once they're done being worked on.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I'm with Live Lesson Masters, which is very, very similar to what the guys got going on with Backstage Music Lessons. The same premise, same concept. You could jump on there and sign up for a one-on-one kind of thing, going little teaching vibe where we could do anything. We could just chit chat about reggae music, all the way to me sharing my process in mixing music or recording music or playing reggae keyboards, all that stuff. So it's pretty good concept, I think, especially nowadays, since everyone's kind of forced to stay home and we really can't meet each other in person. Why not have some fun that way and learn something in the process? So
Exactly.
yeah, we're stoked on that.
Nice.
And we have, of course, every week, right, Devin, we have our playlist on reggaepodclash.com. Go scope that out.
And
Check
the
out-
website's been being upgraded, so by
Yeah.
Mr. Roger here. So go check it out, even if you have checked it out in the past, because you might find that you like what's happening with the website. But you can go on there and listen to our upcoming tunes of the week. So you will know next week in advance what songs we're going to play, and you'll have listened to them, and maybe you can even bring your own questions. And
Yes,
ask us
that's
about
actually a cool take on that. I didn't really, because I know when well, I know when we review the 45s, you know, we get caught up in our own bubble talking about it. But it'd be really cool to you know, answer any questions about that immediate song, you know. And,
or like more likely is someone's gonna know some things about that song that we don't, right?
Oh,
I mean,
for
I've
sure.
gotten some like
For sure.
I've gotten some messages on Instagram from people, you know, being like, you know, about that artist that you said didn't have any songs. He actually has a bunch of other songs, and here they are. And, yeah,
right.
so I'm always amazed. I mean, we say it all the time. Jamaican music is the gift that never stops giving.
Nope.
And no matter how much you think you know about obscure Jamaican music, there's always somebody out there who's like, but have you heard this song? And you're like, how have I never heard this song?
It's so funny because it reaches full circle. Even we find ourselves talking to some of these old school artists, showing them songs that they played on, and they don't even remember some of the
Right.
stuff they played. So it's like full circle. That's just a testament to how much music Jamaica was pumping out. You know, you're always running into new
Exactly.
45s, and it's a great story.
And our buddy Albert Morales, shout
Oh,
out
yeah,
to
Albert
you.
Morales.
He's wondering about gear for sale, tees and stickers, Reggae PodClash. And, you know, that is a great idea. We've talked about it. And, you know, there's always so much going on that we haven't quite gotten to that yet. But that is maybe Roger, that should be a good reminder for us. And when I say us, we all know who I mean. Because we're
He means, Roger, get on it.
yes, because one
Very
of us
diplomatic of saying the us and the we. I love that.
Yeah.
No, I love doing it. Right? That's what I
Let's
tell
get
them
some
every
merch,
time.
Raj.
I love doing it. Yeah, exactly.
Roger's the graphics guy. We were thinking of mugs. Right?
You know what? We were thinking of getting some cool things that you would see every day on the show. So, for example, having mugs or cups that say, you know, Reggae PodClash. Also, for the record collectors, maybe some 45 adapters that are custom to the show. So we're gonna brainstorm a little more, Albert, but definitely we want to.
You know, t-shirts. Come on, you can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with t-shirts.
I would rock a
Everyone
reggae PodClash t-shirt.
Yeah. If it looked cool, I would.
You're like, I might. That show's all right.
I might. Whatever's. Yeah, you're right. T-shirts. T-shirts are definitely in their stickers. Everyone loves
Hats.
stickers, hats. Dang. Now that I think about it, we got an empire building here.
Yeah. All right. Well, so Albert says sign me up. So we're already gonna put Albert down for one of each.
Yes.
So we're gonna get mugs, hats, and what do we say?
Frisbees.
Bats,
Frisbees.
Bats and cats. Oh yeah, frisbees. Yeah.
Frisbees too. So we'll
Okay.
put them down for 2 frisbees.
Okay, good. All right, and I think that's it. Everybody, next week, please join us, same time, same place, 6 p.m. Pacific on Rootfire TV, where we are going to have Josh Heinrichs as our guest. And, you know, in the meantime, go subscribe to the podcast. It should be updated, so all the previous episodes should be up. I know the last 3 episodes took a little while for us to get up there, but I think we're up to date now. So go subscribe to the podcast. Leave a review if you can on it. That really helps us. You know, we want to thank Rootfire and Ineffable and Cali Roots and everybody
Definitely.
for all our partners sharing this podcast. I want to say a special big up to my brother Juan Love, who lost his pops yesterday. And just
Much
you
love,
know,
Juan.
Juan, you know, you're my brother, and I've been thinking about you. So you know, we'll dedicate this episode to him.
Yeah.
And
Anybody that knows Juan knows how special he is and what kind of positive energy he radiates. And he's a very special person. So definitely our thoughts are with you, Juan.
all right. And on that note, we will see you guys next week. Later,
Yes.
Raj.
Later, Dev. See you guys.